We're live.
We're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Nerdy of North podcast. It's a nerdy podcast hosted by Northern Nerds. I am one of your hosts, Sam.
And I am the other host, Paul. Joining us tonight, you thought last week's episode was sexy. Now we've just ramping up the heat. We've got the beautiful, the wonderful, the inviting, the menacing Jake. And the beautiful, the purple-haired monster that has came out of the abyss. That is Phoebe. Hi.
I don't think I ever want to see Jake pull that face again.
Oh, that's just my best of the best TV face. That's how I watch TV shows that are good.
If you like them intros, wait till next week when you hear me talk to Richard O'Brien. That's going to be his intro.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah, it is.
Spoilers. Yes. So yes, how are you, nerds? How are you today?
Happy Sunday, everyone. Good. Happy Bank Holiday, everyone, by the way.
Yes.
Bank Holiday. Yeah, that means we can stay up late after this.
Yeah, no early nights for us.
Watching more movies.
Yeah, I might watch the Rocky Horror documentary again, just saying.
I think we should all watch the Rocky Horror documentary when it comes out.
And we all go to the pictures to celebrate it. Yay!
We did actually, during the episode, we did actually nominate Lee to drive us, didn't we?
Okay.
We said we've got a driver and his name is Lee.
Yeah, we'll hire him a miniverse. It'll be great.
I'm so sorry if you can hear your dogs barking.
It's fine.
I'm just going to apologise now.
I genuinely thought that was Eddie, and I was like,
no, that's Bailey. He's yep, that's Bales.
Hi, Bales. You're part of the podcast now.
Eddie, you're not the naughty child this
no.
week.
Before, when I ran into the living room, it looked like a Muppet had been killed. He's gone and ripped a sheepskin rug.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they'll do that.
Poor But talking about naughty doggies, when you do the disclaimer so we don't root out all the naughty doggies in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry. So, everything discussed in today's episode is our opinions and our opinions alone. Well, if you'd like to discuss anything from today's episode, please come and join us in the Facebook group. You can join us in the Discord or the comment section where we can have an open discussion. But what we won't have is anyone coming for us and telling us our opinions are wrong, because we can all agree to disagree in fandom. I want to kill him. So let's keep it fun, keep it kind, and keep the toxic behaviour out of her nerdism.
Well said.
Throw it out.
I was raising my voice to like kind of make it like telling him off at the same time, but just using words because he doesn't clearly understand anything I'm saying.
He's the cleverest dog. He's the cleverest dog in the world.
He's a little shitbag.
But yes, so tonight is going to be an interesting one. We're doing something a little bit different. Again, I thought it'd be quite an interesting conversation because we can all talk about our favourite shows, even our favourite episodes. But there's a difference, I believe, in our something that's favourite, because you can love something or have a favourite that's imperfect. Mm-hmm. Where what we're going to talk about tonight is what we believe is the perfect episode of a TV show. Now, these can be any TV show. They can be any type of one. That could be British comedy, American sitcom, British drama, horror show. It literally could even be a cartoon. It could be anime. And knowing the people that we've gotten tonight, you're probably going to get a whole host of all different those options. Now, for me, the ones where I because I'm gonna open this question to everyone, but I'll answer it first myself. What I would describe to me is in a perfect episode, in a perfect show, is one that fits the characters, that leaves me personally as a viewer totally fulfilled. That everything that you've seen in that episode, there's nothing that you would change. There's nothing that you felt was out of place, and it just left you either just done, either emotionally happy and say, right, that has kind of completed you in a way that I'm trying to make it not sound sexual, but I'm doing a bad job of it there.
Some of the words that was used there, fulfilled and
satisfied.
Well, I like the way Phoebe said that. Say that again.
See,
It's being recorded for you. You can watch it back at your leisure.
And also, someone will clip that.
Yes.
That's what they do.
Naughty Chris there.
So how did everyone approach this task? Because I had some, I wouldn't say like issues, but I definitely had some sticking points where I was, half of my mind was going like, well, it would be good if it was an episode of a show that anyone could watch. And then I was like, you know, like, and it'd be like a perfect encapsulation sort of thing. And then the other part of me was like, oh, but what if it's like the sort of sum of all the best parts, and it's like it represents like the best the series got to, but it doesn't work at all for someone who just comes in and watch it. So there was a few where I was like, well, no, the whole season is good. Like I can't pick a one episode out that kind of does the job to say it's like perfect. Yeah, I got stuck a few times on stuff like that. How about you?
I majorly struggled. I'm not gonna lie, I really did. Because I was talking to Anth about it, and I was like talking through what I had, because this is not my list at all. But what I had initially was someone had died in it, the episode.
Surprising.
Someone that, like,
shock.
I know. And Anth was like, "Is that really what gets you in a TV series, that somebody's died?" And I was like, "I know, but I'm thinking that like of how it made me feel." And he went, "Do you really want that to be what you are telling people? Is that you're okay with the whole? I'm just going to watch that episode over and over again because this person dies." And I was like, "Well, I kind of do that in one episode of Downton Abbey." So.
No, I'd say mine are like high on the tragedy meter. Like,
see, I've gone a completely different route to what I was initially, because it was episodes that had some significant death in it, that it was like so pinnacle to the series, and I was like, but I wouldn't dare say that would be my perfect episode. So I had to really stretch my brain on this one. So I hope. I hope I don't regret the choices I've made.
Well, it's not about regret, like I said, regret about the conversation. And again, you could even change your opinion when doing it as well. So yeah, sorry, Phoebes.
No, it's okay. I was gonna say I approached it slightly differently in that I was looking for. So I like the idea of like the perfect episode of a series being something that encapsulates the series,
right,
and how that it makes you feel when you think of it.
Great.
So I was looking for like an episode that fundamentally like cemented an image of what that series means to me.
I get that.
But I did have like honorable mention to June Prophecies. I was gonna choose an episode from June Prophecies, and I literally watched the whole thing like twice and was like, I can't pick. So there were a few series that just didn't make the cut, like Bee and Puppy Cat. Every episode's perfect. You can't just pick one. It's like Sophie's Choice.
That's always the interesting one, because like I say, my viewpoint of what's a perfect episode is going to be different from Sammy's. It's going to be different with GX. It's going to be different Phoebes, and that's where I thought when we were planning this episode out, this is where we reached out to you two, because we thought it's going to be such a contrasting one. Because to be honest, if it got like say Daft Arse Liam, it would probably be quite similar to certain opinions, or like someone else in it. It's such a different viewpoint and different like conversation.
Weirdos, mister.
Yeah, the best
you
kind.
wanted us to be out there.
The best kind. So I'm going to start this one, because normally I do say, oh, it's when I'll stop, but because I'm going to go with, because when I thought of this, there was one pick that stood out. It was always going to be in there, just because I view it as the perfect kind of like reflection on the show. It is a little bit of a cheat, so I do apologize. It's not just one episode; it's a two-parter. So
I think that's okay. One of mine's a two-parter.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's cheating. I think you have to pick one out of the two-parter.
But it's basically just the same episode. Just it's all because it was what was originally meant to be the finale. And again, I spoiler, I did a video of the episode today. It was so it's season 8, episodes 18 and 19 of Scrubs. So finale, which again, the reason I've chosen is a few things. Scrubs was such a powerhouse of a show up to season 8. Like, if I know season 9 gets it here. Season 9's not bad. It's just not as good as what came before. And it's kind of like, it felt wrong doing season 9 after this ending as well, because in my mind, the only only finale that beats this one is Blackadder. That is the greatest season finale to any TV show ever made. This one is a close second because it finishes off JD's story so perfectly because he travels through this and it hits on the right notes of nostalgia. It gives you every little thing that you want to happen, like from his conversations with Dr. Cox, like the hilarity jokes, like giving him the book and running back through and going through all the different beats and all the different characters gets, like, say, the time to shine. Not only do you get the resolution to his, like, internal fight with the janitor, when they find he gets JD to finally admit that he did drop the penny into the doors, and they have that kind of interaction, which is kind of like a perfect way to kind of finish their tit for tat. And that video at the end where JD is just in front of the screen and the music playing, it just hits the perfect type of melancholy, hits a note. It gives you hope. It's again because it's saying that's just showing this is what one future could be. It's not saying what the future is. It's just saying this is what it kind of is, and it's like shown in a bright way. And as a season finale, a lot of shows again, just not just shitting them, but like Friends didn't hit the home run on the season finale when the show finished. A lot. Frasier, Big Bang did okay, but not to the level where I think this. If they kept this as a season finale, this would have been gone down in history as one of the greatest. And it's just perfect. And like, I don't know if you guys have seen it or if you remember it.
Never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. So like, what's the general like spoiler pitch? Like, is it like JD's last day at the hospital sort of thing? Is that yeah?
Basically,
Because I've seen a lot of Scrubs. I
Yeah.
don't think I was watching around season 8 time.
No, it's fine. It's hilarious when it comes to like say the like Scrubs, because when you watch Scrubs and you watch it now, there's a lot of stuff that you kind of cringe at and stuff that's like very much of its time. But it's all about JD's adventure from episode 1 when he's Bambi and he's evolved into this, like, not just doctor but this human being. And because like all the way through, JD is one of the biggest arseholes in any TV show. Like the things he does to Elliot, he's very self-centered, but again it makes quite like relatable because people are selfish, people are arseholes at times, and people do make wrong decisions. But
especially in work as well.
Yeah.
When
and I love that. And I love when you talk to people who work in hospitals and stuff, and they say, "Okay, what's the closest adaptation of your life in a hospital?" And they say, "Oh, is it like ER, Greenwin, or something like that?" And they go, "No, Scrubs actually gets it closer than most shows." But he makes the decision that he's basically going to change, leave Sacred Heart, go to a different hospital because he's had a kid with another woman, and he wants to basically be a good dad. He didn't want the kid to be like he was growing up, where his dad was like only there half the time. So he made it like a decision to basically be for the kid, and it's kind of like a last hurrah, like as a sitcom would, where he runs through like the greatest hits, like he goes through. They retell a lot of the jokes, but it's just like it hits on such an emotional thing. Like you get like the Ted character who just knocks it out of the park hilariously. Like he's just like the dog's body all the way through, and
I
he
love
just
Ted.
and Dr. Kelso, he leaves in this episode, and he fully embraces his relationship with Turk, and like say he gets the hug and like the daddy issues off his back with Dr. Cox, and it's just everything that you've waited for in the previous 7 seasons as kids. And there's a little moment with Carla as well, which is just like I get goosebumps when it's just sitting on the table, because Carla's this firebrand Latino woman that is just beautiful, but she tears a new one and doesn't let anyone think. But she never was mean or horrible to JD. And he goes, "Why are we not using it? You were Bambi. Someone needed to teach her how to walk." And it's kind of like that moment. And he just says, "Oh, thank you for being my teacher." And it just plays on. And leading up to the final scene where you get the projected, they go through the hall, and all the like bit part people or people who are in for there's some seasons that disappear. You know, in sitcoms, like you get like a character that suddenly just disappears. they're all
Recurring
there.
guest.
Yeah, and they have like the one-liners as well, so they kind of like give JD a send-off, and it just like plays on your heartstrings to the right notes and does like so well. And when you watch it back, if you watch the 2 episodes, there's literally just it's got everything. It's got humor, it's got like emotion, and it gives you that sense of closure, that finale that you've kind of lacked, and that you get
Yeah.
that you because you'll get a TV show that kind of ends, and you think, I want more. With that, you didn't. You were happy. They give you more. It shouldn't have.
And you were
but
like, God damn it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Mm.
something I like similar that I was thinking about over this week because I forgot to mention like on the 90s podcast, like
Mhm.
how we've had so many like final episode revival things because
Mm.
so many people were unsatisfied with
Mhm.
like cartoons just like trailing off and or like they never got the budget to have like the last movie or something.
Mhm.
But that's awesome that Scrubs like had one of these. I know
Mhm.
like you say the sort of they
Mhm.
carry it on for like money reasons and
Mhm.
don't they like
Greed.
reverse it and like bring JD back to try and like fix it again? And I can't
Yeah.
remember.
Well,
Yeah.
they kind of brought the season back with JD and Turk in it, and like, okay, we're going to
Yeah.
try and blend them out and lead into like the new class because like the opening's basically them handing over their thing to the new people, and they're going to
Yes.
lead into it.
Yeah.
And a couple episodes in, it's just not working, so they bring them back like to finish it, and then they went right, it's cancelled. It was a whole mistake, but
Yeah.
again,
But like, that's so cool though that like a sitcom sort of thing actually does get a finale with where you like see all the characters and get all your closure.
Mhm.
So I think that's what everyone wants with like the comedy shows is like you want everyone to show up and like do the best bit like for the end, like
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my first one. That was
Circle
one that
back.
was always going to be on the things just because it has like it stays with us. I don't know
how much
why.
does it make you cry
I,
constantly?
I did cry when I first watched it because it like literally hits home because when you're
Yeah.
watching you think like because again like put your hands up, everyone, no one's perfect, everyone make mistakes, but it's kind of like showing you that. Sorry for you. It can't be as beautiful as you, but it's fine. But yeah, it's just as I said, when you watch because American sitcoms are so like there's so many and there's so many
Mhm.
great ones as well. We don't get as many good ones these days, which is a shame. But back in the 90s and like late 80s, like through the 90s, there were some amazing ones, and Scrubs gets talked about, but I don't think it does get talked about with the high regard as like the likes of Friends, the likes of Frasier. But I do think it's up there with them as well.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of things that have ripped Scrubs off it, like since as well, like Superstore and that the guy
Yeah.
who makes those shows and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like they're good for it though, because they've obviously like learned and like you get those like you get the ridiculously silly episodes and then you get like the proper like heart wrenchers that like
Yeah,
murder you
that like
when you're
rip
not
your heart,
expecting it.
rip your heart to pieces.
Yeah.
Scrubs was
Yeah.
never my thing. It was Ants. I've watched a few episodes, but not. I just couldn't land in it. Where it's become that familiar program we all have, and I have quite a few of them. It could just never fit into that wheelhouse.
Oh, I loved it, like, because it was always like reran on like E4 and stuff
Mm.
like that, wasn't it? And
Mm.
yeah, like I don't know what it is about some shows. I just never like get the urge to like finish them out. But maybe it's just because I'm like, oh, I don't really want this hospital crew to end. Just having fun.
Yeah. I like to think that they're still working there.
Yeah.
Till they die.
And
Till they
everything's
die.
all okay.
JD finally qualified.
It's not okay, Sammy. Brendan Fraser's not okay, Sammy.
Oh no, that one that was a close one. I'll be honest. There was because there was other Scrubs episodes that kind of close.
I do remember that one.
There was one with, as I said, Brendan Fraser where he's dead, and spoiler that, and it's kind of like a Sixth Sense type moment.
He's
where
been dead the entire
time. That was great. Also there was another one where I've got the name where. I think it was season 8 as well, where Turk and JD's going to steak night, and they find a patient who's dying that night, but he's got no family, and they spend the night just getting to know him. It's quite a personal episode, and it's quite interesting. It's how they focus on grieving and accepting, and that's what I think Scrubs did well as well. They had the great comedy moments, but the emotional hits were always there. But yeah, that was my pick. So move on to Sammy. So we'll go with Sammy next. Yeah. So
okay.
talk
Well,
with
thank you.
mine to emotional to death now, so it's fine.
You will be wrong, my
No
friend.
Superman.
Wrong.
Yeah.
You'll be absolutely wrong. It was the route I was going to go down, and I have completely changed it.
Mhm.
To be honest, I could have probably picked quite a few episodes out of this series,
Mhm.
but I went with the one that it's not. It may not be everyone's favorite, and
Mhm.
it's. I wouldn't dare say it's like my favorite, but it's just something. Every time I watch it, it makes me smile. It completely and utterly epitomizes the whole program in this one episode, and it is The Office,
Right.
and it is season 6, episode 13. It's called. Oh my god, I've totally got it. Secret Santa, and it's the
Oh.
one where Michael dresses up as Jesus because he's not getting his own way by playing Santa Claus. And I just feel this episode completely embodies everything that The Office is.
I'm glad we've got a Christmas episode as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can
honestly,
hear
and
I
a
can hear
great
Chris
one.
and Molly cheering.
The
Yeah.
amount I
This
could
pick.
have picked either this one or the first ever Christmas one they did, where they did do White Elephant, because again that one is and it just shows
With the
exact.
iPods.
I bought him an iPod. Well, the limit was only $20.
Yeah.
It shows it. It's Michael and how he can always turn things around. He can be the worst, like the absolute worst person, but by the end of the episode, manages to turn everything around.
Yeah.
Because he isn't as horrible as what you think that he is, and how he's making himself out for the camera. There's some really special moments in The Office, if you're paying close attention, to where Michael, when he doesn't know he's being watched by the camera, is Michael Scott. He's a lovely person, and he is very good at his job. He just, when that camera is on, he turns into the world's biggest asshole. And this episode was written by Mindy Kaling. She wrote it. It's hilarious. Phyllis being Santa Claus, where Michael gets completely and utterly so knocked at it that he ends up losing his temper and deciding to become Jesus, and Toby trying to tell him all the ways that it's wrong. And if this is where Erin and Andy's relationship starts to grow, because he's doing the countdown to Christmas with the birds, and she has her face nearly ripped off by them.
By 12 partridges or something
That's, I love that one when she's like, I don't know what I've done wrong. Someone hates me.
I don't know what I've done to deserve this, but
yeah.
It's so good. The whole episode, just again, I could have picked any from The Office and I would have been happy with it, but I had to narrow it down to one, and this one, there's another Christmas special that makes us laugh when Michael and Daryl are having a go at each other, and he ends up dressed up as Daryl. Daryl from the warehouse. But yeah, this one I was, again, like I said, I could just go on and on about how amazing The Office is, but my God, that aired on the 10th of December 2009.
It's scary, like how long ago, because The Office still feels quite fresh. Because I probably only discovered it a few years ago because you kept on harping on us to watch it. And I was like, no, I'll not watch it. Then I was like, shit, I can't stop watching this. I've watched it 3 times in a row constantly.
The only thing that really dates it is the mobile phone technology.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's one of those series, again, it's part of the wheelhouse. If I, get to the end of it and I'm like, oh, I miss these people. Oh, wait, episode 1 exists, and I can go back and start again.
Look at everyone's hair.
And
look at you.
It has so many good moments. One of my perfect moments from The Office is when Stanley finally laughs.
Yeah.
Like, he makes it through so many seasons and so many episodes without ever cracking a smile. And then one time he just, like, Michael does something and Stanley just loses it. And then it kind of like helps resolve everything. It's got lovely human moments in it, The Office.
It was, I could have gone down the route of the best, what would be classed as, if you go and have a look at like top episodes in series, this episode constantly comes up on each list, and it is the fire safety one, which is two-parter.
Yeah.
Where Dwight does the fire. This episode won awards, and where Dwight sets the alarm off. and has the whole fake fire drill, and Stanley has the heart attack, and then they have to do the life-saving, and
CPR training.
And Dwight ends up ripping the face off the dummy, and they figure out that Stanley's stress is only caused when Michael's next to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to do anything. He just has to be near him.
Yeah.
But I love that the episode you were talking about, the Christmas episode, because it's such an inflammatory episode as well. Because Michael starts off just being like incredulous that Phyllis is Santa Claus, it can't be, and his annoyance that the fact that nobody agrees with him and everyone's okay with it just keeps building and building it. And this is kind of like the building up between like him and Jim kind of locking horns as well, and I just love that kind of antagonistic energy that it brings. And he doesn't want to outright say that a woman can't be Santa Claus.
No, but he can't. No, he doesn't want to say it.
He can't say anything that would make him unpopular. So it's like, when he clearly disagrees.
It's when he gets Kevin to sit on his knee. Come sit on my knee, little boy, and tell me what you want. And he's there for ages, and you can clearly see, if you look carefully, you can see Mindy Kaling and Ryan in the background trying their best not to laugh, because Kevin just keeps getting squished in and proper putting his full weight onto Michael's legs. Yes. But again, it's when he comes out as Jesus. It's just you don't see it coming.
Mm-hmm. But you can't not
what else would you not? What else would you expect from him when he's throwing a tantrum that size?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's something about the psychology of Michael Scott, which is, what can I do that no one can argue with?
Yeah.
I know, I'll be Jesus.
Works for me.
There's one episode where he's trying to prove a point that the warehouse is the office is more dangerous than the warehouse, and he goes onto the top of the building. He's deciding he's going to go and jump off and hit a bouncy castle, and he's just nuts. The ideas that man comes up with just to prove a point is ridiculous. But Jesus is probably my favorite.
So we heard it first. Sammy loves Jesus, but yeah.
And Christmas.
And Christmas.
So talking about Jesus and man with beards. Jake, go next.
Gotcha. I'm ready. Okay. So this one, this one I picked was like a firm favorite, like from childhood. So it is a cartoon because that's all I used to watch until I was probably in my later teens. A lot of cartoons. So I picked an episode of Batman the Animated Series entitled Feet of Clay. And it is a two-parter. Yes. So I'm sorry, but it's only 40 minutes long.
So it could be one episode.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, it might even be like half an hour with the break bits and recaps and stuff. But yeah, so this is the infamous Clayface episode, which includes his origin story.
Which is scary as fuck.
And I think it was a lot of kids' first exposure to that character. And the reason I love it is because it was also my first exposure to that sort of Batman trope of, a guy does something a little bit wrong, then accidentally gets mutated into something like a horrible monster. And even through all of that, Batman still sees the humanity and tries to help him in the end. Sort of, it's like the reason I picked this one. Maybe it's not the best, because it's quite an early one. So the animation, they were still getting the style and stuff. And it doesn't take in years of history or anything, like the ending of Justice League, which is kind of a big wrap up of this entire sort of animated universe. But for me, it's a perfect one for anyone to watch and be like, okay, do you want to get why everyone loves this show? Check this one out. And it's very adult as well. There's when I was rewatching it, I mean, it's friggin' Clayface is Ron Perlman, and friggin' Ed Asner's the bad guy. It's very
oh, that's a cast.
Yeah, it's very old school in its casting.
Yeah, the cast for the animated series in general is truly Mark Hamill's Joker, best Joker, hands down.
Easily, yeah. And again, but he didn't show up for a little while in the animated one. That was like that was their Christmas episode as well.
I think that
but
was
yeah,
designed
so
by choice by the company, the animated show, because they wanted to give these other characters like
yes,
great origins. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Sorry to jump in, just because you
Jump.
mentioned a great origin story. Because I love the Clayface one, but I also loved the Wayland Killer Croc. Like how they did the origin story in the animated show for that as well. It was
yes,
they didn't play down to it. It was quite adult. It was quite scary.
yes. It was like where he joins the freak show and he sort of
Mhm.
like makes friends with everyone, but then he still betrays them all at the end. And you're like, how could you betray the freak shows? Like
Yeah.
they were your
Not
friend.
the freaks.
Yeah, and yeah, there's that little seal boy who loves them as well. Yeah, yeah. But Matt Hagen is a kind of different breed. And I love this origin story. It's very like, old Hollywood Universal monsters, where he's this like successful actor who gets disfigured in a car accident and kind of gets addicted to like a putty thing that can make him change his face back like temporarily.
that
But
makes sense.
the problem is he gets like addicted. It hurts when he's not using it and he just needs more. And then that leads him into like, he's also being blackmailed to get more of this stuff. It's like a really adult storyline
Awesome.
for like a kid
And-
show.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like victim of circumstance almost. Like it's
Yeah.
very sympathetic.
Yeah.
And
And yeah, sorry.
some of the way that they animate Clayface, you could freeze like the images, like it's very dynamic and very stylish.
Oh yeah, like especially at
yeah.
the end when he's like morphing into like everything all at the same time. Like the animators were definitely going going crazy on that one. And I love he's got like his little friend as well who's like, oh come on Matt, you don't need this stuff. Like like it's actually a story of addiction and how it like destroys his only like good relationship. And yeah, then of course you get the classic Batman mobsters being like, let's give him all the goo he wants, and now he's all fucked up. And like Paul was saying, the Clayface design is scary because it's like just these like hollow like yellow eyes and like the big like toothy grin with like all the gaps and stuff. And of course it's like Ron Perlman, so like his voice is
That
scary on
voice.
its own.
But also can be quite velvety as well, so I can imagine
Yeah.
quite menacing.
Yeah, you should watch this one, Sammy, because
Absolutely.
it's got a touch of the old Hollywood in there, just a little bit.
It's very noir.
It's very
one
old.
of the,
it's that old monster films.
Yeah.
Like The Thing.
Yeah, and like it's just like so good because it shows like his human side. So you get on board with this Clayface guy, and he's not as evil as some of the like Paul was saying, Killer Croc's a lot more irredeemable. And even Batman's just like, I'll try and help you, and like like in his like final moments when he's like freaking out. And he tries to show him who he used to be, because that's why he starts like morphing into everyone, because he shows him all of his old like film like stills, and then he's like, no, stop it. Like I can't control it. But yeah, it's just so
That's
good.
so cool. That does sound so cool.
It's such a good encapsulation of like everything I love about Batman as well. Like, like science, monsters gone wrong. But then Batman still seeing the human inside, like even after everything, after like being like knocked out by him and thrown everywhere. Like he's
the bigger person, isn't he? Like in the grand scheme of life, like Batman always was the bigger person.
That's what I like about Batman. I think like some fans want him to be like, the fighter who just like punches things to solve the problems.
No.
But no, because it doesn't always. So I was just about to say, you'll be happy to know if all the dogs have gone to sleep, and then one of them's decided, no, I'm not going to do that.
He heard Batman. He was like, Batman, you say?
He has actually just looked over as you said that.
Yeah,
but like
another fun thing to do as well is they don't name him Clayface until like right near the end. So even though that's like a silly name, like it's him who chooses it as well. It's not like, someone making fun of him. He's like, oh, there is no Matt Hagen anymore, only Clayface. Like,
oh, I haven't watched. It's one of those series that I always say I feel like I need to watch, not just as a nerd, but just someone who appreciates really good storytelling, because every time someone talks about it, the stories just sound amazing.
Also, you like Sammy, you're a fan of film noir, and like I think the animated series is actually like Batman as like the classic film noir detective, really, like at its core.
Yeah.
And like even like there's lots of very Art Deco style buildings.
Yeah.
In the design, I think you'd love it.
I have seen some of them because, believe it or not, I actually own it. I own all the series. So I have seen some of them, but it's just never been like I've never invested me time to where I'm like I'll watch it all the way through kind of thing.
Well, most of the episodes are like 15-20 minutes long, so they're not.
I know, and it's crazy, isn't it?
They're a little encapsulated, but this, like Jake said, this version of Clayface is my what I would class as my definitive version of Clayface as well, because I know we've seen him pop up in like other things where he's more of a comedic side. It's more of like
in that Harley Quinn show.
Yeah.
But I like that as well, where he's like this kind of like uppity sort of like I'm an actor type of person.
Oh my gosh, I have seen that. Is that the Keely Cuckoo one?
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I've seen that one.
So that's a fine like interpretation. But this guy is very much like, I want to be human again. Like, this is awful. And like the cool thing is he gets away at the end as well. He does a fake actor's death, like, and even fools Batman. Like,
but do you know what? It's so on the nose when it comes down to that era in Hollywood. Everyone, it was the face, because it was silent movies, and this is all you had was your moneymaker was the face. So it really, the more we're talking about it, the more I'm like, let's wrap this up so I can go and watch.
Well, it's like, if you
if
decide to watch it from the beginning as well, it's like episode 5 or 6. So you get to this early.
Because I know something else is going to pop up, and I'm going to go, I want to watch that, because I'm so like. Reminders on Tuesday.
Send Sammy lists. It's on Netflix as well.
Tell you what, in a future episode of Nerdy Up North, we'll do it on the Batman the Animated Series. So
I have no choice but to watch them.
So,
Oh, that means we get to pick all of the best episodes and be like, Sammy, you need to hit On Leather Wings, Feet of Clay, Heart of Ice. Like, we'll tell you.
Do you know, I have actually seen Heart of Ice, because I know you two spoke really highly of it before.
Yes.
So I have watched Heart of Ice.
That one was up there, but I wanted to like this one when I was a kid. I had like the toy of this guy as well, Paul, like where he had like the mace hand that used to shoot out when you squeezed him. He was like a big action figure. I think it was just like monster design I'm happy with, like, it's, and like the backstory. This is probably what set my imagination off, being like, what, people can be turned into mutants? That sounds really cool. Like, I kind of wish that would happen to me.
No, definitely.
Just remind us on Tuesday, Jake, when we're recording, because I know what I'm like. I'll hear something else and I'll be like, oh my god, I need to watch this now.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch Scrubs in the Office. I'm catching on these things that I missed.
Yes. But yeah,
that's my first one.
And it's a good one as well, because I know they are doing a Clayface movie as well, and they are going to go with the horror element. So it's going to be
I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that. Like, are they just going to make up a new origin? Like, is Batman even going to be involved or what?
I hope they go with this route, because they could do it in modern day. Like say, addiction is rife. Like, it could be a new chemical. It could be a new Gotham's new science and stuff like that. I think it could be an interesting take.
It might be good if they could do like, oh, he was an old Hollywood actor who's like aged out type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could pull it off with the age difference, but like,
is it
or child actor, because I feel like that like story of addiction and like child acting is so like inner, like a child actor now grown.
I think Sammy was just about Alan Tudyk has been.
I was just about to say, was it Alan Tudyk who's doing it?
I think so.
Okay.
That's rumors I've heard kicking about. I don't know if it's been confirmed, but that would be interesting. I think the voice range would be good and interesting.
Yeah, do you know the lightning here makes me look like I should be in Arkham Asylum? I look absolutely crazy.
All right, Harley, calm down.
My fucking face looks so weird.
So, Phoebes, what is your first pick?
I'm gonna choose my well, actually, they're all kind of sci-fi.
I'm gonna go with the milder sci-fi.
I said I wouldn't do Oops All Anime, and instead I've done Oops All Sci-Fi and Fantasy. So my first one is sci-fi classic. It's Battlestar Galactica.
Oh
yeah.
Specifically, the season 3 finale, Crossroads. Right. So in the lead up to this, like, honestly, and the reason I picked it is because for me, this was one of those TV episodes. And I watched this before, like, internet spoilers were probably a thing.
Yeah.
So I can remember watching this. I was a weird, and I can remember watching this, and literally as as the episode played out, I'm like my jaw dropping to the floor and just like having this. And I feel like there are lots of moments in Battlestar Galactica where your understanding of what's happening fundamentally shifts, and you're like, what the fuck? But also, it's so perfectly breadcrumbs you so that you almost feel like an idiot for not noticing. Like it's really really a masterpiece.
Oh, that's just me when I watch anything, Phoebe. I don't get anything until it's absolutely explained to me.
Well, Crossroads would rock you. And I think there's and in the lead up to this, basically what's happening is that the people have learned that there are Cylons among them on the ships that are like the colony ships that are having to escape from this war with the robots. And slowly they've been revealing each Cylon. And this isn't the last Cylon to be revealed in Crossroads, but it is, I think, the most shocking reveal, because it's a character who you just have complete and utter faith in.
Yeah.
Human being. Like complete faith in. And when you find out that they're not human, you're like, it genuinely, like my heart sank and I just couldn't believe what was happening. Like my whole world crumbled, and it's perfect. It also has one of the best soundtracks, because this is one of the breadcrumbs that they give you throughout the series, is All Along the Watchtower, you know, the opening guitar riff.
Yeah.
So they like that has just been playing at like key moments, and you realize suddenly the significance of it as a song in the series during the Crossroads episode. And I just think masterpiece.
It's like keeping you on the line, and then just then when you get a payoff,
because they had it planned all along.
Because it was planned it was genuinely planned all along, and you watch back and you go, oh no, really, they have planned it to get to this point, and they've made very deliberate decisions from the first episode. Up until season, and they wait until season 3 to give you this payoff. Like it is
but I bet they don't make you feel stupid for it though, which a lot of shows can kind of do.
Yeah, I think when you watch it back, you're like, how did I not see this? But you don't feel stupid, you feel stunned.
Yeah. The only thing I have with that is Bears beats Battlestar Galactica.
I disagree. That's a whole episode.
So just because I think I've only seen like a handful of the first season of the new Battlestar. But like but I did know that that's a thing people talk about a lot, is that, you know, there are characters that, you know, will become like betrayers and stuff, and then it like goes back and forward and stuff. But like what's like the impact of this? Like I don't know how much you want to spoil, but like, you know, when this reveal happens, like how impactful is it? Like, you know, does it ruin everyone's time, like all the humans' time and everything?
I think what it does is it shifts the understanding of what a Cylon is and what they're capable of. There is also something about, so it's a season 3 finale, so you had to wait a hell of a long time until you see
like a year probably.
It's like a full year. And then you're only getting it one episode a week, none of this like binge releasing. But I think one of the things is that you realize you can't trust anyone. Like even the characters that you thought you could trust, you suddenly realize that no one's perfect. Everyone is gonna at some point have a fall from grace. And I think every character goes through that fall from grace in Battlestar Galactica. And the ones that the characters you root for are the ones that you watch do that and kind of like get back up again. And some people, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they fail again and again and again. And you're like, you need to get your shit together.
It's weird though, because like Battlestar is, like, I've heard so many people talk about, it's one of those ones that it's never crossed my path. Like I've like say I'm always
was it not on the expensive channels like back in the day? I can't remember which one it was on.
I think because when I was at like we're not talking about how posh Phoebe is, it's fine. With me it was because like when it comes to sci-fi, I grew up, my dad loved sci-fi, so I used to watch what my dad watched. So
same.
He loved Quantum Leap, he loved Sliders, Star Trek, of course, huge on Next Generation. So I gravitated towards them. So he never watched Battlestar, like even with like back when it was the guy from the A-Team in it as well, wasn't it? Is that the same one, or talking about something different?
So that's different. So they have like the original films,
yeah,
and then they have the longer TV series that happens later.
Yeah, so them never kind of crossed my path because my dad never watched them, and like I was hugely into the Star Trek movies. Like, if like weirdly, I loved well, everyone loved Wrath of Khan, but I actually like Star Trek One, the motion picture. I think it does. It's a great film. It
It's a
sets
fun
stuff.
film.
I
I've
loved
seen it.
yeah, I loved like I said, a Voyage Home as well, like with the wheels. Makes no fucking sense, but it's fucking hilarious. But yeah, but yeah, and Battlestar has never come across us, but I always remember because I'm a huge Katie Sackhoff fan, and like she used to always like be part of that.
She's fantastic in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it probably is something that I should like go back and revisit, but it's just then now trying to work out time and place to have that moments to watch that now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
it's
I think for me
I
there was a
think-
lot of prestige TV that I kind of missed around that time period, like Sopranos and stuff like that. And I think it is like it's kind of hard to go back because they still sometimes keep them on like the more expensive streaming services
Yeah.
to like keep the prestige up. You know, like how you can't watch like Game of Thrones without having like the Sky Now thing and all that stuff. Like
yeah.
they still try and gatekeep them a little bit too much, and
They
I think
do.
that shoots them in the
Yeah.
foot. Like,
Yeah.
Black Sails is a bit like that as well, which is
Yeah.
one of the best pirate series of all time. But I also, the thing I love about Battlestar Galactica and this episode in particular is that sci-fi, it like fundamentally it's a philosophical conversation about what does it mean to be human in an age of progression, right? So there's like and Battlestar Galactica goes through like an evolution of humanity, and this is like a point of like this whole question of like because one of the other thing is that you realize the Cylons don't even know that they're Cylons sometimes, so it's there's a kind of like a like what is real.
I'm getting a Blade Runner vibe as well now.
It's very very Blade Runner. It's also very like it's like very like this is me getting all theatre like poncy, but like Harold Pinter, who's like a British playwright, talks a lot about like the conversation between ourselves and our own memory.
Right, all right.
And plays around with that idea of like different people within a scene can have an entirely different perception of what's happening. And what you realize in Crossroads is that is happening to each character. Everyone has a different version of what's real to them. And then you as the audience have another version that is also contradictory to what's going on. Like it's a proper head fuck.
sounds like quite a personal thing as well. That's quite interesting. So like I'll take so I quite like that.
I do like that idea though, that the like the evil sort of tech civilization is like wouldn't this be the perfect spy, the one that doesn't know it's a spy?
yeah, doesn't know it's a spy, doesn't know it's a spy, complete like it is the person you think would fight to like his dying breath. I don't want to kind of spoil it, but it's like it is honestly the last person you expect.
And then you're left with and then you're like left with like, okay, but then now that it's revealed, I think would they not still join the like the good side? Like then you're left with all them questions.
You don't have those questions, and also what you also know is there is still another one. So you know that this person is a Cylon, and we also know that there's one other person, and now you spend a whole nother load of episodes trying to like find out who is the other Cylon. It's a brilliant
good
way
TV
to end the
writing.
series. Like if you want people to come back for the first episode of season 4, give them a Crossroads finale.
Great.
Yeah.
No, very nice. But moving on to my next pick, and I'll pick this one because Jake has mentioned it there.
I'm gonna put something underneath my bum.
Oh dear.
A lot of pain. Sorry. I'm sitting on an actual dining room chair and it's really uncomfortable.
Bless.
I'm glad you're wearing trousers though, because we could see your reflection in the window behind you.
Don't get me wrong. It could have happened at some point another time, but not today.
Why is this video getting so many views? It's because it's Sammy's posterior.
That light is so bad. I look horrible. Right, sorry. Go ahead. We're picking.
You look lovely, Sammy.
So yes,
carry on.
Bless you. So my next pick is one of the prestige one. It was on the posh channels. Season 3, episode 11, The Pine Barrens for The Sopranos, which which in essence, as a show, it is one of my favorite. Again, I wouldn't say it's perfect because there's a lot of things that frustrates you the fuck when you're watching The Sopranos because literally it's unapologetic. It's like this is the story they want to tell, and this is they don't give a fuck if they give you all the answers or tell you like all the reminiscence. I love this episode because again, it's you don't get much comedy in The Sopranos because it's brutal. It's like dirty. It's rugged. It's these characters you don't want to love them, but you fall in love with them because like they're nice people, but they do some horrendous acts. And this one is just, as I said, from start to finish, has some great, amazing acting to start with. The two main characters in this episode are Paulie and Christopher, like Tony's nephew and his captain. Now, Paulie's at a stage in his life where he's questioning things. He's questioning things he's done. He's questioning Tony's leadership, and he's questioning where he is in the group as well because he's getting overlooked for things. He's getting there's issues going on with other people that's kind of like Tony's siding with when he said think so. He's questioning his friendship with Tony, and then you've got Christopher, who's this up and coming youngster who's making all the wrong decisions. He's got a mouth on him. He's just like he's when you watch it, you start like initially you hate Christopher, you think he's a thing, but he's just a child in this situation where he's trying to be an adult, and they get set a task to go and just take some money from a Russian, and that's all they're meant to do. And Paulie's in a bad mood. This Russian mouths after him, so he attacks the Russian. They get into a fight, and it escalates to the point where Paulie thinks he's killed him. And the comedy in it is because the phone Tony's getting frustrated because he's going to see the Russian's boss that day to do some money laundering, and if he finds out, then Tony could be killed because it's like it's life and death situations. So he tells Christopher and Paulie to get rid of the body and make sure that no one thinks. So they wrap it up in the carpet. As I said, this shouldn't work because it's like an absolute one of the most brutal things in. But you're watching it, and it's the communication between Christopher and Paulie that are just hilarious because like it's like father and son or sorry, brothers. That's probably the thing. Older brother and younger brother, where the younger brother's starting to catch up, so there's like resentment there, and they're kind of like biting each other. And they say, "Oh, shall we take him to the river?" No, it's too much there. We'll take him to the Pine Barrens, which is basically the woods in the middle of the winter in New Jersey, where it's thick of snow. So they drive out, they open the trunk, and the Russian's not dead. His head's popping out. He's chewed off the tape over his face and he's swearing at them in Russian, saying he's going to fuck the mothers, he's going to kill them, he's going to do all these things. And then Paulie's and say, right, we're going to make him walk. So they've got these two Italian gangsters wearing leather jackets, jeans in the middle of the woods, freezing their asses off, pointing guns at this Serbian warrior who's basically who they find out is a war soldier from the Ukraine who's basically survived, killed 16 Chechens and stuff like that in the war, and he's like a decorated soldier, and the Tony's freaking out, thinking shit, this is going to come back, I'm going to die. And in the meantime, they're just like marching this Russian in the thing to dig his own grave, and shit goes wrong. He escapes by smashing Chris in the face with a shovel and hitting Paulie in the nuts. And they chase him. He gets clipped in the head and he keeps on running. This is how much of a fucking monster this guy is. And they get lost in the woods in the middle of the snow. Paulie loses a shoe, so he's freaking out, thinking his foot's gonna fall off. And then they just bicker like two old women all the way through this episode to the point where like the relationship completely changed. And the reason why I think this is a perfect episode as well, and I know this sounds really strange, you don't get an answer of what happens to the Russian. The Russian just disappears in the snow. Yeah, the Russian just disappears, and these two like are arguing, thinking, "Shit, what's going to happen?" And in the end, Tony comes and like finds them the next day. They find a van. They eat ketchup. Like there's loads of this.
Tony
Like,
sorted it, man. That's
no,
why.
no, but
That's why he's the boss.
But like they've done interviews with the writers of this show, and like the thing is, and people always ask the question, what happened to the Russian Valerie? And he goes, what do you think happened to him? And like, well,
He lived.
it's like, did he get
Tony
away?
sorted it.
Because to be fair, if he got out and he had recognition, they would have all died because they would have sent the Russians to kill them, and the Russians were just mental, like when it comes to like vendettas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like he disappeared. There's no evidence of him. There was no mention of this Valerie
Yeah.
all the way through the rest of the show. It become like a little bit of a legend, and I love that. It's kind of, and again, I know I harp on about like not seeing or not knowing things. That leaves it to your imagination. It gives you that little thing to think about as well. But it's just so brilliantly paced, and a show that's about like brutality and stuff, and it has these little like personal moments in it. It's just done perfectly.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like
I-
it's the letting the fans be in on the
Mhm.
little secret as well. That's
Yeah.
what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's a show that my sister adores The Sopranos. She watches it at least once, twice a year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've so tried with it because it's so up my street. It's very character driven, very, character focused, and I love stuff like that.
Mhm.
I just can't seem to get past the first series
Mhm.
to where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm bored now.
I love The Sopranos. I haven't watched it all the way through though. At some point, I always seem to drop off.
Mhm.
But it's not for like lack of quality.
Mhm.
With is it Val? It's Val, isn't it? The Serbian.
Valerie, Valerie,
Yeah,
whatever.
Valerie.
Yeah.
I always saw him as a kind of like Rasputin character because like the story of like Rasputin's death of like being
He
like
just kept coming back.
he just kept coming back. They tried to
Yeah.
poison him, he wouldn't die. They tossed him in a river, he would drown. They shot him, he kept going. Like I always picture like Valerie as having a kind of Rasputin style
Mhm.
like conspiracy. Is he dead? Is he alive?
Mhm.
Doesn't really matter because he's a legend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just how that, like, again, like not just like the acting and everything. It's like how this is shot because The Sopranos is normally quite dark and muted and quite like dingy, like because it's like showing like the grimy of New Jersey, the grimy mud scene. It's because it's so bright and white and like open and stuff. It's such
And
a
out
different.
in nature as well,
Mm.
which is unusual for the show.
Yeah, probably Sammy's probably not best to watch because a deer gets one in the neck by accident as well. So
Hey, I watched Dexter.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but
I
yeah.
did okay with that.
So yeah, so that's my big one, The Sopranos, shall we say? So yeah. So what's your next one, Sammy?
I might take the tone down a little bit with this one.
What, from killing Russians in the forest?
From deer death?
Maybe actually,
Jesus, where are we going?
It's going to be really hard to explain. So
6 feet
this,
under?
no, I haven't actually seen that all the way through.
Mhm.
Even though I love that show for obvious reasons. Anyways, so this show, this whole series is one of my all-time favorites. Me and Anne have literally just finished a whole rerun where we watched it from start to finish, which I've never managed to do because it is a series where you can jump in and out. There's no continuity. But it has some of the strongest messages at a time when it wasn't the normal to do.
Right.
This is the Golden Girls.
All right.
Oh,
And
nice.
this
Thank you
episode,
for being my friend.
yes, that one. But this episode,
Sorry, carry on.
no, I get it. You can finish it off if you need to, because I do understand it's one of those earworms that you can't get rid of. But this episode is called 72 Hours. It first aired in February 1990, and it is probably one of the strongest episode. The Golden Girls were so progressive with the language that they used and the actions that they took, but this one took on a whole different level. This episode focuses on Betty White's character Rose Nyland, where she gets told when she had an operation to have her gallbladder removed, they had to do a blood transfusion on her, and potentially she has blood that had HIV in it.
Right.
And she has to wait 72 hours to find out the results. And it's jarring, It's harrowing, but it is also one of the most beautiful ones. It's ranked in Vanity Fair's top television shows of all time. It always hits a number 10 list because of how powerful the message is. And I actually have part of the script, which is the reason I picked this one. It's because Rose goes through the works with this. She starts off completely fine. Oh, it's okay. It's one of those things. And then it goes to denial, it goes to anger, and the anger then leads to, why me? I'm a good person. This should not be happening to me. And Blanche has to sit her down and say, I've been through exactly the same. It's scary, but it's not we can deal with this. And Rose Rose goes, where is it? No, I'm just saying I'm a good person. Hell, I'm a goody two shoes. And Blanche just literally, I love the character Blanche Devereaux, but Rue McClanahan delivered this with so much punch that you cannot not cry when you hear what she says next. She goes, hey, wait a minute. Are you saying this should have happened to me? She went, no, I'm just saying that I'm a good person. Hell, I'm a goody two shoes. AIDS is not a bad person's disease, Rose. It's not God punishing people for their sins. It breaks me every time. Just the way that Blanche delivers it, because the room becomes silent. In the 90s, this is such a series of conversations that are happening and then are not good conversations.
Yeah.
They're scary. They're putting ideas into people's heads about this disease that is, yes, it was scary, but it didn't need to be handled the way that it had been. And the fact that it's the Golden Girls who got that message out, it's one of the most powerful episodes. It doesn't get the greatest write-ups in some places. People think because Rose really lays on the thickness of, I'm a good person, so this shouldn't be happening to me. But at the same time, it is how people were feeling. And it's just that line from Blanche breaks us. It's not a bad person's disease. It's not God punishing you for your sins.
No, and I think that's a good thing, because I think anyone in them type of situations, you instantly start, as you said, when you're going through all the different areas of grief, you can let your mind wander, or even let your thoughts wander to a place where it normally wouldn't. You would say things that probably is in your head, context wise, I mean it this way, but to someone else, you're saying it like this. The context is completely different. And again, it's been brave enough, and again, Blanche's been brave enough to just not let it go, because that, as you said, if she didn't put a stop to it, or put that, like, have that type of conversation in real life, that could escalate to a place where it might be a missay to somewhere where it could develop into not nice, like hate and stuff.
Yeah, and I also think it's part of the discord around the queer community, religion, and sexually transmitted diseases of the time. And you look at like other like satirical shows like Brass Eye, and they have got an episode where they have good AIDS, bad AIDS. And you also have it in Star Trek, Enterprise, where T'Pol contracts like a telepathically transmitted disease, but is like a kind of metaphor for AIDS. But because it was unwilling, like the scientific community didn't.
Oh, have we lost Phoebes?
We lost the Phoebes.
Oh no, we've got a frozen Phoebes. She'll be back.
No!
But yeah, she was telling us about the scientific community.
Oh,
She's
you're
back.
back.
You're back.
Oh, you're back.
Yeah. Sorry. So the Vulcans, so the Vulcans are like only willing to help her because it's like because she didn't mean to contract it. And again, it's that like if you're straight and get AIDS, it's not your fault. If you're gay and get AIDS, it's your fault. And that's part of the discord around HIV at the time. So like the Golden Girls having that in, it doesn't make Rose a bad character.
No.
Rose is like reflecting an opinion that is held around HIV and how you contract it.
100%. And it was the 90s, 1990 this episode came out. So it's literally bringing AIDS into your home at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. That's not heard of, that's not done. But by like
the Golden Girls who were like your grandmas.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Even though
I think that's
even
what's...
though they're in their 40s when this starts, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that's what's important, isn't it? Like that's what we should be able to rely on, like the older generation to do, to like take a smarter outlook on things and
Mhm.
kind of like guide, like, you know, the younger
Oh,
generations. So
100%.
having celebrities as well come out and say these things, like it really does change minds, like more than people I think give, like, you know, TV shows credit for.
Yeah.
The Golden Girls has a lot to answer for, because you had 4 women who knew their status within the gay community, and they knew the impact that they had. B. Arthur, all her money went into the LGBTQ community. She literally just went, have it, split it, you take it. They would not have anyone on the show who was going to take the piss out of anyone who was in that community. That wasn't going to happen. Not under Estelle Getty anyway, because she wouldn't have it. And there was a lot of progression, because there is some episodes, especially Blanche. They always use Blanche as the catalyst because she is the Southern belle. She comes, she still calls them Yankees, and she's from the South, and so they always use Blanche for the progression side. So Blanche was always the one who went through, a daughter who was going to adopt and not, or have a surrogate child. And it wasn't going to be the natural course of how, things should go. And it was always Blanche who learned them lessons. So to have it now be Rose, it really changed the dynamic. And it's Blanche who's the one who's on the progressional side.
Yeah.
Honestly, that show is fun. Season 5 of The Golden Girls is some of the best written television that has ever been created. I belly laugh at them. Like, and it's what, how many years later? And it's still fucking hilarious. But that episode alone, that touches a nerve.
Yeah. But I think Jake hit on a good point as well with the celebrity things, but because there's so many people, like, again, of different generations, because I know, like, say, my parents' generation, it goes from it's on TV, so it must be true. So having watch something on, like someone telling a story or giving them that information is important, because there's so many different things to say. Because there was so many times, like, you can have. I know we're a bit smarter now when it comes to media and how it can be manipulated and changed. But back then it was like, oh, it's on the news. It's telling us this is bad. This must be bad. It's like, okay, instead of being someone's viewpoint. So again, having someone like high profile and things, and I think it's something that messages need to be shown today as well. And like, again, we had the conversation with Linus for the Rocky Horror interview. It's important now more than ever because of like the things that it kind of represents and the message it tries to give across. Because now there's so much negativity, so much bad stuff, so much stuff that comes out, especially with social media. We need more positivity. We need more voices to try and like shout up and say, "This is okay. This is what is right," and stuff like that.
This is normal.
I mean, not to get like too conspiratorial, but there has been like a totally like manufactured outrage to stuff just like this, where everyone's like, "Oh, it's woke now," like, which they've like made to mean bad in like certain people's eyes, and like what it normally means is like a character is like, "Oh, I'm not gonna be intolerant," and that's enough for them.
Yeah, but what it also would have done as well at the time. Now I have gone down rabbit holes with the AIDS epidemic in the 90s, not just within the LGBTQ community, but also people who were straight. The figures for people who were straight who contracted the disease is staggering, and it really did help people recognize that it's not just it's not the gay disease, and it's not going to kill you. That like it's like it doesn't have any prejudice at all.
Yeah.
So it really does highlight that as even just for it's only a 20-minute episode, like it's not even the longest, but it still manages to get that message in there. If anyone is interested, obviously go and watch Golden Girls, but there is a fantastic documentary on the BBC that does cover everything that happened in the 90s. It's important. It needs to be watched.
Certainly. So Jake, how can you follow the Golden Girls?
Especially that episode. I'm so sorry.
The Golden Girls changing society, Jake. You're up.
Well, don't you worry. I'm not that. No, I can't follow that. and the Golden Girls rule. But I'm going to another legendary filmmaker, TV producer who has since left us, Mr. David Lynch. I need to talk about an episode of Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane that it got put on television. But I am saying that knowing full well it was in his revival, which was very like self-serving, where he basically got enough like control to make the sort of final series that he actually did want to make. And this episode is absolutely sort of encapsulates that. And I've picked it because it's amazing. Like I'm not gonna say if you watch this you will understand anything about Twin Peaks, but it's episode called, it's just called Part 8. Got a Light, I believe, is the sort of the fans name for it. Because it really is like the most avant-garde thing he's ever been able to put on television. And when I say that, I mean like it's about like 50 minutes of like no dialogue and like a lot of like walls of sound and stuff like that. Like the worst parts of like the scariest parts of any like Lynch movie, like condensed down. It's also got 9 Inch Nails in the episode, which is awesome. Yeah, I saw your t-shirt.
My 9 Inch Nails jumper on.
And they're introduced as like the 9 Inch Nails because like they're playing at like the Roadhouse bar, like
the 9 Inch Nails.
Yeah, playing the little song and everything. So Trent did help with some of the soundtrack, like so some of the like the sort of scary industrial sounds. But basically this gives us as close as we ever get to an origin story of what the hell's going on with Twin Peaks, the evil in Twin Peaks.
Okay.
So like I don't even think I could spoil Twin Peaks if I wanted to, but basically there is doppelgangers in the show, and we see the Agent Cooper doppelganger, who we know to be Bob, like the evil creature that is Bob. We see him get gunned down at the start, and that's kind of what kicks off all of this weirdness, as these like horrible sort of, they kind of look like they're called the Woodsmen. They're sort of like these like filthy like looking guys in like like workman hats and coats and everything, big beards, and they kind of like all crawl out, like morph onto the scene and start like putting them back together with like mud and like blood and stuff. And then like Bob's face like shows up in this orb that they kind of like shove back inside of him, and then like evil Cooper gets back up. And that's kind of the end of the sort of the Twin Peaks actory like part, like the modern actors that we follow around. Because then after that, it just flashes to like 1945 New Mexico when the first atomic bomb is detonated.
What?
And then you watch this fiery explosion, and it's just modern art. Like it's just like noise and like visuals on screen. And like a horrible alien thing starts like spewing out like goo, and you're just like, okay, David Lynch, I'm listening. I'm watching.
You got my attention.
I literally can't move because this is like the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and it comes out of nowhere. There's no like warning for like this episode is gonna be like messed up or anything.
Wow.
But basically, what I think from my interpretation is it's saying that the first atomic bomb being detonated like started an unspeakable evil in the world, like kind of opened the door to something like like demonic, or even like like eldritch in that kind of way, like unspeakable. And this episode actually ruined Oppenheimer for me, because their atomic bomb going off just seemed really cheesy and not creative at all compared to what I saw here.
Was the OG.
Well, this was it too, but from a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's a series I want to watch because of how excited you get about it.
It's fucking amazing. Like it's crazy,
really good.
And
it's
it doesn't
really, really good.
And it's really hard to make sense of it. I had to like listen to podcasts that were talking about every episode in depth to kind of.
I've got so it's okay.
Like we all need help. I think that's sometimes nerds don't like to admit that. They think they can get everything, but I do a lot of digging.
I don't get anything.
Yeah, I do a lot of digging and reading. That's and like further listening.
No, I tried to watch it years and years ago, and Anth walked in and told us the whole story, and I went, "Oh, what the fuck? Why are you watching it?" Took
No,
my
no,
absolute hissy fit, and I never went back to it. Now I can't remember what he said.
you
So
said he
it's
told
okay.
you one twist, which would be who killed Laura Palmer.
Who killed Laura Palmer?
It
That's
has
right.
nothing to do with anything, like almost nothing to do with like what you enjoy about
why
the
would he
series
come in
going
and say
forward.
that to start with? So yeah, I lost me rag and
Because
turned it
that was
off.
just the headlines at the time. But like, so like after this happens, you see this horrible like frog thing get born into the world, and then it sort of flashes to like nighttime. I think like still in New Mexico, and it's like all the 1950s like couples running around, like proper Americana. And then this like horrible guy just comes out of the woods with like a cigarette, and like all he'll say to like the humans is like "got a light," like over and over again. And he like crushes people's heads and stuff. Like it goes like proper like horror movie at this point.
It's also, I feel like a hark back to Fire Walk with Me, which is like is the name of the film
movie. Yeah, that
kind of
So I made the mistake of watching the movie first and going,
"Oh no,
I don't know."
TV series movie revival.
Yeah.
Even the movie, I don't think I would ever watch it again, because that is like an absolutely,
it broke us. I'll be honest. I was like,
another mindfuck.
Yeah,
I
it's
sat
so
there in the corner
intense.
just rocking, going, "What have I just watched? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening to us. Am I
But-
evil
I
now?"
want to watch it now. I want to see what's going on.
I think what you were saying about David Lynch and the soundscapes that he uses to unsettle you, because he also did one weirdly with Sting in it, like a Dune film.
Yeah, the Dune.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
he turns like some of the kind of so that there's like the Benny Gesserit have the voice, and he really plays on the idea of like sound having a power. And I think he's really like in tune with what noises are going to make you feel as a viewer.
Now that you've referenced Dune, because I love that one. It's 84, 83, 84 one. It's this, but when they have the visors down and the fighting, even they have a noise. Like even they are like, oh, I totally get what you mean. Is Kyle MacLachlan in it? Because he's in Dune as well, but is he in all of it?
Yeah, he would be the doppelganger at the start. Like technically, that's Kyle MacLachlan's character, Agent Cooper. He plays upwards of 3 characters, depending on your interpretation.
He's the best. He's just the best.
But like, yeah, so like this ends with like the horrible guy. So like at this point, you're not sure, is this aliens, or because it's like Roswell. Like you're not sure, is this aliens coming down to help the evil, or is this like a primordial like force thing? But he gets into the oldie time radio station and then starts like talking on the radio, and then it makes like everyone fall asleep who's listening to it, and then you see like the creature get into like the girl's room and like crawl inside her mouth and everything. It's fucked up.
Nice.
But what you don't know, because it's never gonna be explained, and Lynch would never tell you anyway, because he likes the fans to try and figure stuff out. What you don't know, is this Laura Palmer's mother or grandmother type of thing? Like, is this the Bob evil getting into that family line? Like, you don't know for sure, but it could be a mother based on like the timeline you kind of get. Like, and later on, she shows signs that she has like something still inside of her, like some like evil like left behind. So it's just really cool. And there's just moments where you sat staring at a screen with like fast motion people just running around and like horrible discordant sounds, and you're like, I can't move. Like you just have to sit there and wait for it to play out, because you don't know if you're gonna miss anything. You don't know if something scary is gonna happen. Like it's
proper surrealism in that you could unpick every like bit of symbolism and try to like analyze it and understand it, or you could just go with it and let like the feeling be the thing that tells the story, like because it's I think that's how I tend to like stick with it. It's like I'm just gonna like however it leaves me feeling at the end of it, that's the story I've experienced.
And again, I'm not even like, this isn't even a good representation of the series. It's just such a standout crazy moment that it's legendary. When you say like part 8 in the Twin Peaks community, everyone knows what you're talking about, and everyone's oh, you're finally watching part 8. Like I can see why
people
would
changed man.
Yeah, it really felt like that, and I was like sat at like midnight watching this type of thing, so it was just everything happened perfectly like in the dark. But I could see people hating this because there's like barely any dialogue, and
So what you're saying? We need to get everyone together, get some weed, and watch this and see what happens.
No, because we all freak out. It's a bad trip, man.
Calm down.
What you needed to duvets and cuddles. Sobriety.
What I will say for anyone who wants to watch this, unfortunately, you probably have to get through about 30 to 40 hours of Twin Peaks at this point. This is like you're in it for the long haul if you get to part 8 of the Rebirth series.
Honestly, it's been something on my list to do, is to watch it, because obviously I know how much you love it, and I've never really given Lynch a chance. Like, yes, I love doing it, and I feel like that's completely out of what Twin Peaks can offer. So I do want to dive into the Lynch world.
If you do Razorhead for monsters, let me come on.
Deal.
Razorhead, Jesus. I
would like to see the baby.
Oh my god, is that what that's off?
Yeah. No, that's from thing.
Is that from Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing my best Werner Herzog.
Oh, right, okay, sorry. I'm very confused there for a second.
So, Phoebes, how are you following Golden Girls and Twin Peaks?
So I'm going from emotional damage
yes
into gentle horror. So this is my anime pick. And it's a series that I just adore. Like, I think all of it is a masterpiece. And it's called Mushishi.
Right.
And it's a series that is very much based on Japanese folklore and Japanese kind of storytelling forms. So it has like a classic Ronin style medicine man who travels from village to village trying to help. It's kind of a bit monster of the week in its format. So there are these things called mushi that are living things that exist beyond plant or animal life. Some people can see them, some people can't. And when something strange or unusual happens in the world, in the world of Mushishi, it's the mushi that cause it. So there are lots of like different episodes, and some of them are genuinely quite unsettling. So there's one where a boy like has like this like real dissonance, and it turns out he's got like a mushi stuck in his ear, and he can't hear certain sounds. And is like kind of tortured by this experience, and no one can figure out what's going on. There's another one where like a little girl has her eyes being eaten.
Right.
So she has to live in the dark. So there's this guy, like, so he turns up and he finds this little girl who's been like shunned by her family, living in a like an outhouse in the dark.
Right.
So there's lots of kind of very unsettling episodes. But for me, the kind of episode that I love the most is one called The Traveling Swamp. Just because it's so beautiful, both in its animation and its story form, that I just think it's like just worthy of a watch. And I think it's one of the episodes that you could just go in and watch it in its own right, and you could enjoy it just as an episode rather than investing in the whole series. And in it, what happens is, so you have our Ginkgo, who is the traveling medicine man, kind of mushi master.
Right.
Hears about a swamp that moves, and that's the kind of the story, and he's just curious, so he just goes to find this swamp.
So he sounds like Chris.
Yeah, he's just curious, he wants to rock up, he follows it in nature, and he basically
does have a cigarette as well.
Yeah, he just follows the swamp down to the sea, but it's so beautiful, and like the sound, the music for it is very relaxing and like thoughtful. And every single shot in this episode you could freeze and have it as a big poster on your wall and think that's beautiful, that's art.
I think Sammy and Paul would love this because it looks and sounds a bit like Constantine. And he looks like Constantine as well. He has a cigarette and a jacket.
Well, and it's interesting. This is like it's a very, very Japanese thing. So you see it in films like Zatoichi, where you have like the traveling blind Ronin character. And the Mushi Master in Mushishi is a character who is deliberately out of time. So like everyone else is in like Edo period dress, and it's like like old Japan,
Yeah.
and he's there in like a trench coat with a big
Oh,
box on his back.
So he is John
Yeah.
Constantine, Japanese John
Yeah.
Constantine choice.
So there is a touch of him being like out of time as
Right.
well as like out of step with the world that he's in
Yeah.
because of his connection to the Mushi. It's very cool. It's a very cool thing.
So it sounds
yeah,
very
he smokes
stylized as well, though.
constantly.
It's like,
Sounds
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah. I think it's worth a watch. If you're not hugely into anime, but you like folk stories, I think you could enjoy this without being a big anime fan.
Well, that's why I like Princess Mononoke, like this folk story aspect. It was great.
Yeah.
I just
don't know why I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to know.
And not enough people have, Jake, and that's one of the reasons why I talk about it at any given moment. It's like, honestly, it's just peak comfort anime as well. It's not gonna.
Yeah, I'm just laughing because your anime friend partner in crime has been quiet for the most part, and as soon as you start talking about this, he's been piping up like he's going, yeah, anime.
He's also called it pensive porn, which is fair.
Yeah,
I think as like a tagline, it is very. It's not fast paced. You're not going to get big fight scenes.
No,
there is drama, but it's all slightly unsettling, kind of weird things that are happening.
That's a very
unfortunate freeze frame.
Oh, Phoebes keeps freezing in the important parts.
It's the deja vu Matrix. It's the deja vu in the Matrix. It's the gone.
Yeah. You've come back now, so don't worry.
You've come back.
I've come back. The internet cannot contain my excitement at talking about this.
Yeah, it keeps cutting off at the best parts. But I think you were saying about it being sort of like a dreamy sort of thing.
It's it's like it in the Matrix where you have the deja vu. It's the little unsettling moments, but it's a whole series of that.
Yeah,
I like that though.
Where you're like,
yeah,
oh, weird.
It's
you don't know, especially if he's like out of phase. Like you don't know what to take as like fact or is just a weird thing that doesn't. But yeah, or it could be the most important clue or anything. Yeah,
exactly. And there are episodes where he's hunting certain types of mushi, and for the whole time you're like, is this person crazy, like that they see monsters or see this thing that isn't real, or is it actually a mushi? And you're never quite sure. Like
every time you say mushi, I think of Moshi Monsters, what my nephew used to be obsessed with, and isn't
some of them are like very similar.
It's also adorable how you say it too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no, it does sound really interesting. I'm gonna ask Ant later on because Ant loves anime. So every time something gets brought up, I'm like, "Have you seen it?" And he's like, "Have I seen it?"
Have I seen it? If he has seen it, tell him to come on Anime Club.
Oh my god, that would be hilarious. You wouldn't, but that would be hilarious.
But it's on Crunchyroll for those. Yeah, so the original series, there were there's an OVA, a live action film, weirdly. There's the original series, and then there's like a kind of continuation. The continuation is on Crunchyroll and is very good. And I think the original series is free on YouTube, so you can go watch it for free. And
which one's the swamp episode in the original?
That's in the original.
Okay,
cool.
Yeah. I think it's like episode 5 or something.
I'm up to episode 156 of One Piece, so that makes me an anime fan now, so I guess.
Oh my god.
We got him.
Say that though, Alabasta series nearly killed us. Jesus Christ, that was boring. But yeah, sorry.
I've watched 2 anime series in their entirety. Does that make me an anime fan?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends if you enjoyed them. If it felt like a chore, no.
No, they've got 2 favorites. It's Hellsing and Cowboy Bebop. I absolutely adore Hellsing and Hellsing especially. I do actually own them as well. I do own them ones.
Sammy's like, I'm an anime fan. Talk to me. Chris, be my friend.
I don't need to beg Chris that hard.
No, it's the other way
also,
around.
I feel like Chris is friends with everyone. I don't think I think he's a happy, friendly guy. I don't think you need to beg him to be your
Chris,
mate.
you're a friendly guy.
It's weird hearing someone speak nice about him, like sincerely.
Sorry, he'll be slapping himself saying, "No, tell him to stop. I need people to be mean. This is not my fetish." But yeah, no, I'm glad we're getting some interesting picks, or some very different. So we are on our final one now.
It's the final pick now.
Pig Hill, what?
Pig Hill.
So with this one, I did struggle with my last pick because there's so many like different shows and there's so many loves. Like I've got like an affinity with Supernatural. This is one of my picks. Like I almost pick the mystery spot episode just because it's so hilarious with heat of the moment, but it's just classic Sam and Dean. But no,
yeah, everyone should do honorable mentions before you get the last one.
I could have done Dexter, but I thought my partner in crime was going to go there. So again, still could, but so then, could have been Game of Thrones as well. Even though I'm not a huge Game of Thrones fan, there is an episode in Game of Thrones I think that's just absolutely perfect, which is the Red Wedding. But again,
oh, see, I couldn't pick just one because I feel like it's all the moments are my favorite, but it's like the whole journey.
so
just wait.
So I've went for what probably is my favorite episode. What I deem as like the perfect episode of any TV show I have ever watched. Now, it's not going to be the episode you think. It is going to be Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which I think is one of the quintessential amazing American TV sitcoms. It literally has every character, every like plus point. It has very few weaknesses in the show, in my opinion.
I've
But
never seen anyone who says they don't like it.
yeah,
Like I haven't finished watching it, but I loved everything
I
of
love
what I
it.
saw.
so the episode I've chosen, it's probably not the episode that everyone's thinking because this again has a great ending, but again, I don't think it's perfect. There's certain aspects. It's not the like episodes before. It is season 5, episode 14, named The Box. Now, anyone who's seen this episode, as soon as I start talking about it, it'll hit you because it is literally very, and it's not the whole team. It's basically just a small ensemble in this one, but it is basically Jake and Holt interrogating the dentist.
No,
Yes.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It is performed like
Drop me phone on my finger there, that hurt.
it's
And
like
also-
it's like the start to the finish. They know this guy's did the crime. This guy is come in and he has performed like the actor. I can't get his. I can't
It's
think of his name.
Sterling K. Brown. It's the guy from Black Panther.
Yes,
Yeah.
he's
I can't think of it. Michael B. Jordan's dad in Black Panther.
and
Oh, got you.
yeah, and it's just an acting class of one like Jake Peralta's comedy, Holt's like
Straight man
sternness,
and-
straight man in
He's
that
straight
first-
man. He's
it's-
utter straight man.
and their combination
Ironic.
it's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
again
Yeah, because he's like terrified Jake's gonna mess it up, isn't he, as well?
But then
So you get, you-
but he messes up just as bad as him.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you get that whole tension like going all the way
Yeah.
through.
and this the whole build of this episode, it's just like the
Yeah.
crescendo. And the reason why I think it's a perfect episode as well is the payoff. The
Yeah.
payoff is just so good, and you're with Jake when he's reeling off all the things, and you kind of like you punch in the air because you like thinking and when he gets him, and it's like yes, and it's not just that moment. It's like oh damn, oh damn, oh damn, and Jake's like that's 3 oh damns, and he walks out, and they leave the precinct, and they think oh that's the day's work's done, and you get Charles coming in to get oh good morning, and they're like oh start again, and they're like you think in that situation you'd be absolutely fucked. You'd be like, oh, I don't know.
But they're just
But
raring to go.
they love their job that much, and it's kind of like, yep, another day, let's go. And it's just because the relationship throughout this whole show is basically Jake and Holt. Like it's just amazing, like their like playoff and how they build it through. Like the other characters are great, but I'm here and there for like these two interactions.
Yeah.
Like it's just when they're on screen together, it's
Magic.
it's exactly that, and this one just showcases that to the degree that
Yeah.
I don't think like a TV show has done it well as good as this previously, especially like having someone as daft and as stupid as Jake Peralta, and like having someone as refined and as amazing as Captain Holt, and they work so perfectly together. And this one, it's like the father and son relationship just done amazingly. But yeah, that's my last pick.
I'm not gonna lie. It was close, so close, that episode being on my list, and it is for the exact same reasons you said, because that payoff, it's very few and far between in that series that you get an episode like that, because it's always just funny moment after funny moment, or there's a tiny bit of serious, but there's a funny moment. But to have an episode play out in just one room and getting, and Sterling K. Brown is just, he is an actor. Like serious actor, and it's fantastic. There's been a lot of what do you call him? Andy Samberg's been doing a lot of interviews for another promotion recently, and he was also on Amy Poehler's podcast, talking about would you revive Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
No,
and he says honestly, it's a conversation that people have had, but every time it comes down to the what's the whys, it's the fact he's not here no more, and that's where the conversation stops. And they go, no, this is they would have, if he was still here, they would have brought it back, but they can't do it without him, and they don't want to explain where he's gone. So more power to him, because it's a hard one. He could they could have done it. Would have been for all the wrong reasons, but they could have done it.
I also think there's a kind of callback to your first choice, because I think that the Peralta Holt like father-son relationship is very similar to the JD Cox dynamic. There is like a
this one's more healthy. This one's more healthy.
It's more healthy, and Holt is actually a much better father figure than Cox. Because Cox is a bit of a wanker most of the time.
But I think like in Scrubs, like the difference is they all go off to like the different rooms, whereas like in the Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they all have to like sit in that one office together. So like you have to like actually interact with these people like every part of their lives. But I agree. This one is great. It does stick in your mind as well. Like it's one that you remember. And I guess for the reasons you've said, that's like a totally like tight story that's just all tied up by the end of it.
I love how Holt thinks he's so good, and he like goes in and like hand on the deck, and he's just as bad as Peralta when he's in front of him. Like he absolutely crumbles.
When they could have an argument about the doctor, it's like that's probably a real argument that most people have on a daily basis. But the way I look at TV shows as well, and this is a movie, let's talk about movies and like as whole. When you watch like a series or you watch a film, you remember moments. You remember great moments. You remember like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I want it that way.
I did think about that as well when you were talking it up.
Yeah. It was number 4. You killed my brother.
And I think that's what makes like a lot of things memorable, because it's very hard to remember a whole episode or a whole series. You remember the moments in this. With the episodes I've picked, I remember start to finish everything that happens, and the weird feels as well, because you get a little bit of glee from Brooklyn Nine-Nine at the start, where he's like dismantling, like making the office, the interrogation room is uncomfortable. He's taking like one of the shortening one of the legs on the chairs. He's pouring orange soda on the table to make it sticky. He's turned the thermostat up. He's like making the area thing. You're like, oh, right, this is interesting. And then the banter and stuff with Holt, how it starts off like, oh, I love the interrogation, I want it there, and then how that escalates up, and then the performance-wise, like how he's like always one step ahead of them. It's like, oh, this happened. He's like, yeah, but this has happened, and he forces them into players and situations where they're getting more and more desperate, and you feel it getting more and more desperate to the point where, due to the frustrations that Holt and Peralta has, Jake realizes why he's trying so hard, because he wants to prove to Holt that he's intelligent, and he goes, right, he kind of works out the guy's weaknesses. Like, he wants us to think he's more intelligent, so he breaks him down by calling him out and saying, you're lucky, you got lucky here, you got lucky there. And ego was the thing that destroyed him, and I just love that aspect. And again, it's the way you can remember every aspect and think, it's just perfect.
And it's a bit like how you would have to like take down Holt as well.
Yeah.
Like, you'd probably have to hit him in the same way, like, you know, like hit the ego and like, you know, challenge his sort of smartness.
Just don't mess with his fluffy boy.
His fluffy boy. Doesn't Peralta just scream at him at one point with a guitar?
And
all
yeah,
you
like
needed in that episode is just add a little bit of pimento, because I just wanted that man in there all the time, and it would have been
Yeah.
absolutely batshit crazy.
and like like it is a possibility he could get away. That's
Yeah.
the best part about it. Like because it does happen to other cases where they like lose and like the guy gets free or whatever. So yeah, you're thinking like, oh well, it might be one of those like hard lesson episodes where like Jake has to let it go,
And
but
nope.
they pull it together.
Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Honestly, came this close. That close to putting it on the list.
So what did you replace it with then, Sammy? Give us your last pick.
So I said at the beginning that my choices were a lot of death, and I needed to move away from it. And it was focused on one series and one series alone. But when I said my first pick, Anne turned around and went, "Is it because the person died?" And I went, "Nah, might be. Maybe I could look at something else." This series has had me rattled for many, many years. I have getting so fucking angry with it, but yet I have done a whole podcast series on it. It is a Game of Thrones episode.
Okay.
It's not what you would think it is, and I may be coming across as a little bit of a twat by picking this episode. Because initially I was going to go with the Mountain and the Viper.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't go with the
Great
Red Wedding
choice.
because the Red Wedding didn't get me the way that it got everyone else, because I already knew it was going to happen. I wasn't watching Game of Thrones when that hit the televisions, and Anth was. So I saw my husband's reaction straight after that episode and knew what to expect when it came to me. But with the Viper and the Mountain, didn't see it coming and absolutely levitated off the settee. That's when Anth went into question, are you just picking it because of the death scene? And I was like, oh, maybe I am, and maybe I need
It's a
to
great death scene.
It's a really good death scene, and it's so infuriating that all he had to do was walk away.
Yeah.
He just had to walk away.
Yeah.
But no, he needed the answer that he went there for, and essentially he got it. But at what cost?
Yeah.
But anyways, the episode I picked, it's got nothing to do with the fact that I've interviewed the man who directed the episode. It is The Watchers on the Wall, directed by Neil Marshall. It's season 4, episode 9. This is one of the most, if not the most, epic episodes of a television series I have ever seen.
Is that the fight at night time at the wall?
It's when they're at the wall. It literally you don't move from the wall. So Game of Thrones, very much like the books, is a point of view story. So you're always with someone. Each chapter, each scene, you're with a point of view character. This one, you are solely on the wall with the Night Watchman. You don't move from it. Neil, when we spoke about it, told us all the little tricks that he did in order to make this episode stand out more than any other one, because of the difference of keeping it in the one place. The camera that goes the 360 all the way around, it had never been seen before. But it's one of the most brutal but brilliant episodes that series ever brought out. Does anyone else agree or not?
No, I'm actually firmly with you. I think it is like, and actually the wall is like a lot of the wall and the north are my favorite. Sorry.
No.
In Game of Thrones, but I think
Phoebe's making a play for being Queen of the North now. It's fine.
She can take it. I'm Lannister pride through and through. But...
She can have my sword.
Yeah. I think the Night's Watch are a fantastic concept, because it's one of the few places where you see proper diversity of character, because you have criminals, you have nobles, you have like former soldiers. Like I think it's the most interesting place.
100%.
In Game of Thrones, hands down. And there's something about the bleakness of the surroundings, with the like scenes of everyone like crowded round like fires as well, that happens when you're at the wall in particular, that kind of, you get this sense of like just people trying to hold on, and I it's gritty for that.
I agree. The wall is a far more interesting place in Westeros than any other, because you do have a list of completely different individuals. But for you as a viewer, you have to forget half the stuff that they've done and remember who they are on the wall. So it's a conflicting place to be in, but also has some, I mean, there's some bitches in there. And there's some absolute like backstabbing going on. You could do a whole series just centered on the wall alone.
And just like the struggle for who's going to lead the Night's Watch is like very backstabby and political. So you still have that Game of Thrones element.
Oh, oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. When Janet Slint gets sent to the wall from King's Landing, when Tyrion boots him to the wall, oh my God, did I laugh my tits off when he got his head lobbed off. Oh, loved every second of it. Absolutely loved every second of it. And when it comes down to big battle scenes in Game of Thrones, regardless of what you think of the series, and I know I have a lot of opinions on it, but big battles they did brilliantly. This, the Battle of the Bastards is probably one of the most, another epic one. It was shot phenomenally. That's when One died. If anyone was in,
I'm just trying to read as well. This is the one with Ygritte dying as well, wasn't it?
Yes, Ygritte died in this one, and she died where Ollie gets her with the arrow, and does the whole. Got you. Got you.
Like,
got you.
And this is this the thing where like it's the guy who's deserted the Night's Watch who's leading like the Wildlings army? Is this the him coming back sort of thing? So there's also like the betrayal element. Am I right?
No, this is between the Thenns and the Wildlings and the Night's Watchman. That is simply it. You've got giants that have been introduced for the first time.
Oh, this is where the giants and the mammoths show up and stuff.
The Wildlings trying to get beyond the wall.
Beyond the wall. This is before Jon's. Yeah, this is before Jon's created or forged anything. So he is very much with his brothers in arms in this one. One of the most beautiful scenes is the brothers who are part of Jon's friendship group, who are standing behind they are protecting the door. They are in their post, and they recite the Night's Watchman oath as the door comes plummeting down on them and the giants kill them. It is I've got goosebumps thinking about that. Just that scene. It's epic. It's monument. Like Neil Marshall took on a whole. He elevated the game. He did it with Blackwater Bay. He'd already done his Blackwater Bay, but he played by their rules in that one. And it's very much shot how a Game of Thrones episode would be shot. But in this one, he took what he wanted to see. If he was staying in one place and he didn't have to go from here, there, and everywhere, he was going to use techniques to make this episode stand out more than any other episode. And he absolutely does it.
Yeah.
Again, I am not being biased because I have spoke to the man, but it just is I love this episode so much.
I was fuming. I was messaging Neil Marshall earlier because he was down in London. He was they're doing a viewing of The Descent at Fright Fest, and he's signing books. I was like,
anniversary.
I was like, I can't come. Sorry. So he always replies to us. I don't know why, but he's such a nice guy. So yes, a great pick, Sammy. I thought Dexter would have been in there, but like say
I couldn't. We said last week you were like, oh, no one pick a Dexter episode, and I was like,
I didn't mean that.
Okay. No, I couldn't. To be honest, the Dexter. The series 4 of Dexter is a whole different thing. It's a whole different kettle of fish. Like where I balance television to in a levels of emotion, it has to hit season 4 of Dexter for us. If you can't hit there, then for me, it's not. It hasn't been great.
That is a traumatic season.
Yeah.
It's what it did to us afterwards, Phoebe. I have never had, apart from Denny dying in Grey's Anatomy, because I mourned for a week after that, I've never had a series give us a literal guttural punch in the stomach. I've never felt like I didn't used to watch a lot of television up until Dexter. So I think Prison Break was the first ever series I'd watched. Like I would watch ER and Grey's Anatomy, but it was like here, there, and everywhere. But Prison Break was the first series I watched, and then I moved on to Dexter. So yeah, I've never had something give me such a guttural punch that I felt like I was winded.
Yeah.
So that's like where that's where my level is.
And it like like the whole series is just such a mind fuck if you know, like, you know, the guy from Third Rock from the Sun. I'm just like,
Harry
Yeah.
Henderson's
what are you
like,
doing, man?
Yeah.
what did you do to Harry?
You know what?
What,
You know
what
what?
the fuck is going on? Like, I didn't know John Lithgow could be like that. Like, I didn't
He's
Yeah.
get it.
amazing. He's so amazing.
So-
and yeah.
You know
So
what's
to
fun?
put an
You know
episode
what's
of
fun, though?
Dexter in there felt wrong.
I'm watching Dexter now with Natalie, and she has no idea about any of that stuff.
Oh my god, I am one episode away of being caught up on Resurrection. I literally have this week's episode to watch.
See,
It's
yeah,
been
we're watching it
been a
after
trip.
this.
And they cancelled the bad series. Yay, we did it, everyone.
Oh, I thought that wasn't too bad. I was going to watch that as well. I was going to
liked
watch
it.
it after.
I thought it was good.
Turns out we all went to cop school together, guys, and everyone only knew each other before season 1.
So yeah, that's why I couldn't pick Dexter 4, because again, it's just that I feel like that's a whole different episode.
I
for
think it's a whole
different day.
season. I think like
Yeah.
the reason the finale is so good is like
It's the build.
if you went and watch it in isolation, it's not as good. You need to remember all of
Right.
like the horrible things
Mhm.
that lead
Yeah,
into it.
That's a good shout though. Jake, your final pick.
Last one. It's a very predictable last pick. I feel like for anyone who knows me.
Yeah, I know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I know what it is.
Yeah, it's Andor, of course. My absolute favorite TV show of all time. My favorite Star Wars thing of all time. You know, I guess in conjunction with the original movies, which I also love equally. But this is Rick's Road, which is the season finale to the first season of Andor. Sorry, and basically it's one of those episodes that just ties the entire season together. Like all of the characters end up back where the story started. Everyone is there, like changed, but all ready to meet each other again. And it centers around Andor's surrogate mother figure, who's played by, I can't remember her name, but Aunt Petunia from Harry Potter.
Right, all right.
Oh, yes, I know who you mean.
Yeah, it turns out she's an incredible actress.
She is.
And maybe the direction is just bad in those films. But yeah, so she has died, and it's her funeral. And this is why I harp on about Andor so much, especially for nerds in the North. So Ferrix, the planet that kind of the story starts on, is like a sort of industrial, like mining town sort of thing. And it's they have a lot of things that we would recognize, you know, like sort of in and around sort of the miners culture and things like that. So in Ferrix, when you die, you get basically, you know, cremated and turned into a brick that they then sort of lay in the wall, and it's like a very like symbolic thing. So that's what Rick's Road is. It's like the road where you go to sort of like do the funeral procession. And like the episode starts with like the funeral horns like playing the Andor theme, because every episode has the same theme, but it's always like slightly different instruments depending on like what the vibe is. In this one, like there's actual like a marching band of horns in Star Wars. When you're like, hang on, Star Wars doesn't have music. It's like John Williams scores. Like you only see that the stupid
like
cantina
kooky
band.
cantina music.
Yeah. So this is like the first. Yeah. This is the first time it's used for like emotion, like actual in-world music, rather than like, you know, just silly alien songs, Sly Slizzles or whatever. But yeah, it's just so cool how everyone comes back together. You get to see how occupying forces destabilize local traditions, because there's all this like back and forth with the Empire where they're like, oh, what's going on? Like they want a funeral for Marva, and like, you know, she's part of the Daughter of Ferrix, and like, oh, it's like a club of women sort of thing. And like they're like, oh, they wanted 30 people for the funeral. We pushed back on that and then allowed 40. So you're seeing how like the Empire is like messing with everyone's traditions and just trying to create like civil unrest by like poking and prodding at things, like even just in like tiny ways. And yeah, it's the funeral happens, and then, you know, Marva comes up like being projected out of the droid to do like a final death speech, which is like super emotional, and like ends with, you know, her being like, you know, like, we're all sleeping, you know, and if I could do it again, I'd wake up and fight those bastards. And then they're like, then a riot starts because the Empire tries to like cover it up. Oh, it's excellent. And like, yeah, Andor's come back to save the day when he's like, you know, the most wanted man on the planet at this point. And yeah, also one of his fallen comrades gets to finally read out his manifesto. Like you finally hear it, and like Andor's like sat listening to it, even though he was kind of telling them to his face he wasn't really interested. And it's like, oh, turns out he does care. Stuff like that.
Cassie and Andor can
It's
be a
like
bit
the
of a
commitment.
Dick.
Yeah, it's like the moment where Andor kind of commits to actually following through. It's,
and like
powerful.
He's not exactly ever selfish, but he always has that thing in the back of his mind throughout the first season where he's like, oh, I'm stuck here. I'll help you guys out, but it's because I'm stuck, you know, but I'm gonna get away after this.
He feels like someone who's failed badly enough that he's really scared to try. And in that episode you see him realize that actually it's not about what he's scared of, it's about the people around him. It's like it is, I think it is the best episode of Andor, hands down.
As soon as the funeral horns start, like I challenge anyone to like break their eye contact away from the screen, because like the tension is just there, because you're just waiting for the Empire to like start the riot. Like you know it's gonna happen, because you know they bring out all the troops and like, you know, like point the guns at them basically while they're trying to do the funeral. Whew. And it's just like important. It's like an important message, I think, to like keep fighting. Like that's like the whole thing about her speech is like, you know, we took their money, we fixed their things, and when they were gone, like we forgot about them because we had each other. And then she's like, but then now they're back and they want to stay, and like they're not leaving anymore. And it's just this whole like struggle thing of like freedom versus like, you know, fascism. And the important thing about Andor is you never see the Empire. Like it's faceless in a way, but you do see like some of the high up agents and stuff, and like
no, I do think Disney owe you some kind of like thing, because you bang the drum for Andor more than anyone I've heard on the internet. So if Disney or anyone Disney executives give Jake some Andor love, give him some merch, give him something, he deserves it.
Yeah, send me a hat, Tony Gilroy.
One thing he was expecting a One Piece episode.
Oh, I don't. Again, that's another one where I couldn't really pick one.
And also so many to pick from.
Yeah. And like so many have made me have a visceral emotional reaction that I just kind of couldn't pick one. But no, I love it because you find like, I think the best thing was finally hearing Nemec's like manifesto, like because he's like, you hear like bits and pieces of it, and then in the season 2 it becomes a thing where like people are like listening to it, and like at the risk of spoiling it, like Nemec's like a nice character who gets like crushed while they're doing like a siege, and it's like he was like the one good one on like the siege team, you know.
And
like
he's a bit like the kind of nerdy academic who finds him like he's like the idealistic dreamer who finds himself way out of his depth but just wanting to do the right thing.
And I love like I've got some of it here. I love like some of his lines where it's like, tyranny requires constant effort, it breaks, it leaks, authority is brittle, oppression is the mask of fear. And it's like, it's just all this like cool stuff where like it does actually map to real life, and at the risk of sounding like a dreamer, it's like it did give me hope like, that people could do something. But and I think now more than ever, like the whole like occupying of like people and stuff is like, you should all watch this.
No, definitely, it's a good shout. Good. And I'm glad you got to, because again, I know we've talked about it, like you really do love that show. I know how much it means to you as well. So
and hold such a candle to it.
And then want to know what the fucked up thing is? It has an after credit scene where it reveals that when Andor was in prison, trapped in prison with Andy Serkis, which is another excellent like 3-episode arc, which I came close to picking the prison break episode. You find out Andor and all of his prison buddies were making parts for the Death Star all along. And you see the parts getting like screwed in. Like, he was like he's building the Death Star cannon while he was like trapped in prison. That's fucked up.
Oh, what a mindful.
So the contractors that could have got blown up in the second Death Star.
Well, it turns out it was all built with prison labor. So Kevin Smith was wrong.
So Phoebe, take us home.
Yeah, great. I came my honorable mentions. I came really close to also doing Star Wars, and I couldn't choose between Boba Fett planning his retirement, which just it's basically the whole of Boba Fett is just him going, I don't have
need
a
a
pension
retirement plan.
How am I gonna do this? Which I
become the
love.
Daimo.
Yeah. And the Mandalorian, which I think returns Star Wars to like a gunslinging cowboy place, which is just
where it
perfect.
needed to be. Where it needed to be.
I nearly picked Return of Luke Skywalker. That was a near pick.
I love the Mandalorian's great, but I couldn't pick one episode. And then I went into June Prophecies, and I was like, maybe I'll do the High-Handed Enemy, but I'm only picking it because it's the most recent episode I've seen. They're all great. And then a conversation this morning gave in our Discord actually gave me my final pick, which is Blink, the Doctor Who episode, the first episode where you see the weeping angels.
Right.
Oh yeah, people were chatting about that this morning in the Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Becca, our lovely friend Becca from the Women of Nerd Culture, also a huge Doctor Who fan, and we were chatting this morning in the Discord about the Weeping Angels, and I do think that out of all the Doctor Who monsters, the Weeping Angels are the perfect monster, and that's why. And Blink is the perfect introduction for the most perfect monster ever to grace Doctor Who's canon. And the reason I think that is because I think they're just absolutely terrifying. They only move when they can't be perceived. Yeah. And so in a blink of an eye, you can be dead.
Yeah.
They can appear, they just appear to be something relatively harmless. So you're walking through graveyards, already scary, and suddenly any of the tombs can just like turn around and attack you. And also it just like the Blink in particular, it's a Stephen Moffat episode. Stephen Moffat does fantastic site-based stories where you kind of takes you into like a moment. The Doctor's trapped and trying to leave clues, so the whole time this girl is trying to escape the Weeping Angels with clues from the Doctor and like piecing it together, but then the Doctor's also trying to like maneuver her into like to helping him escape and make sure that the Weeping Angels don't take over the TARDIS as well.
Is this the one where it's a very David Tennant light? It's like you get him in like
he's not in it very often, is he?
He's not in it a lot, and actually the lead actress for the episode won like best support or was nominated for a best supporting actress.
That's cool, especially when you're
she's Melissa something, I think.
Yeah, because normally they round out the episode it's like a happy ending. This one wasn't really a happy ending because when she gets blinked back, because when you get blinked you go back in time or something. Is that right?
So basically what happens is the Weeping Angels, they feed on like a kind of temporal energy,
right?
So if they catch you, they displace you out of time,
right?
And often people will then die because they like end up in all sorts of weird and wonderful places. And then as a result of that kind of phenomena, that's how the Weeping Angels are, like, as part of their like feeding, their hunting thing. And and it is sad, like she doesn't have a good ending, and I think her name's actually Stephanie McCarthy is the name of the actress. But yeah, it's just fabulous. And also like there is no other Doctor Who monsters, let's be honest, are a bit shit sometimes. Like they're like they're goofy, and then the minute they start talking, if they're not goofy, they ruin it because they like the monologuing just kind of like saps away some of the menace. The Weeping Angels never get a monologue, they never get a motive other than hunger, and that is terrifying. They're just predators, and that's scary.
There's a return of them in, so I guess we all know my feelings on Doctor Who's not great. However, Matt Smith is my Doctor. And I love
Matt Smith is my Doctor. Yeah,
I tried. I went through Eccleston. I watched them up until Peter Capaldi, and that's my mum's Doctor. That was like the one thing like me and my mum could have together, is that we had that Doctor Who thing. But I love Matt Smith. He is so my Doctor, and there is an episode with Matt and the Weeping Angels it's when Amy is having to stand in front of them nose to nose. And oh my god,
don't blink, and she just like tears coming out of her eyes because she just cannot look away.
Your eyes are drying up as you're like with her in that moment.
Yeah.
I'm not.
And they are terrifying,
but I love that.
they're always scary. But and also one of the other things, which is a Matt Smith arc. So there's the Bad Wolf arc where you have like this impending doom.
I used to have a ring that said Bad Wolf on
it. Yeah. And there's an episode in that where for the first time you see the weeping angels running away from something, and that is also terrifying because it's like these things that everyone is universally scared of. They're like known to be like the universe's perfect hunter. What the fuck are they running from? Like, what are they scared of?
Yeah.
What a fantastic way to build tension.
I'm not well versed in the Whovian world. I only know that Matt Smith was my favorite doctor, and me and my mom used to have our doctors on, the keyring Funkos. I had a Matt Smith one, and she had a Peter Capaldi one. We shared that moment over who.
I love that. Me and my mum had a thing about Game of Thrones, and we would always sing the theme tune to each other when we wanted to be like, "Do you want to watch an episode? Game of Thrones."
I dropped Michaela off at work when she used to work at in Arneson Centre in Durham, and I dropped her off one day, and as I got home, I knew she wouldn't be able to answer our phone, so I rang and left a message just going, Game of Thrones. I did the whole song.
This is Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. I did the whole song down the phone.
Yeah, me and my mum would sit and watch. Like we'd never skip the intro because we would sit and sing.
No, you don't skip the intro.
No, I don't. I think we should all stop skipping any intros.
But no, that's such an interest. Like, I love the wide scope of like everyone's different like viewpoints and different. Because again, I think the easier thing to do is go top 5 favorite episodes. That would be easy. Top 5, or even just go and like say pick a few that you think is a perfect episode, and then try and give the reasons why. It's a different perspective and different viewpoint, and I think it's like such a more in-depth or interesting conversation, because as we've all known, like our definition of that perfection or why that is perfect is such vastly different. It just makes things a little bit more interesting.
Can I quickly do honorable mentions, because I totally forgot.
Oh, yeah.
So I checked out Breaking Bad Ozymandias, which is apparently the highest rated episode.
Highest rated one, yeah.
I don't think it works when you're not watching the entire season. It's really tense and really like, everything comes out and, like the secret is up. So that's great. It's the one where like Hank dies and stuff at the start.
Yeah, when Dean Norris is like, he's already made his mind up 10 minutes ago.
Dean Norris is
you're not changing anything.
Show.
Yeah, he's like, you're not changing anything. He already made his mind up 10 minutes ago.
And then he fucks with Jesse as well afterwards for no reason. That's awful.
But your heart just sinks in that moment when you realize, like, because you really think that Walter can pull him out of it. Nope.
So yeah, but I don't think on its own it's like I would put it in my top 10. But yeah, like Breaking Bad as an entire thing is amazing.
Yeah, it's a series I don't think we could ever watch again.
Yeah,
because I don't think it'll ever be able to get back that feeling.
Yeah, and then the other one I had was a toss up for the animated. Was Justice League Unlimited did an Alan Moore adaptation for the Man Who Has Everything, which I might need correcting. In DC, is there a space guy called Mongol, like a big muscly like dark side kind of guy?
Watch the Batman Lego movie, because they list all of the crazy characters. So, he might be in there.
I think he's like, an intergalactic warlord kind of guy, whatever, big, strong.
That name feels like it is timed out of.
Yeah, that's why I wanted correcting if I was saying it wrong. So it's Superman's birthday, so Batman and Wonder Woman are going to the Fortress of Solitude to give him his presents and stuff. So there's jokes about lead-lined presents. When they get there, though, he's covered in this like alien vine system with like a big flower, and he's just like stood like bolt upright. And so what the sort of crux of the episode is, Superman's stuck in like a dream world, living his perfect life because of this parasite thing that's on him. Yeah. And he's like back on Krypton, non-exploded, with like Kara, and like he's got a wife and a son and everything. And he's living this like perfect life, but every now and then he's feeling like earthquakes, and he's like, and no one else is. And it's sort of like the people on the outside, like having a battle over like, Superman, but then, like he's kind of feeling it, and he has to like basically rip himself out of the dream world, and that's like the ultimate present from his enemy to just absolutely ruin his have him make him rip himself out of his perfect world.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then
And
he
he's like
beats the
lived
crap
like a
out
whole
of him.
life in there, and there's like a bittersweetness of like him having to sacrifice actually.
Like basically
Like,
say goodbye to his son.
Yeah. It's so sad.
Yeah, Alan Moore's the right bastard for that kind of thing.
Alan Moore's a bastard man.
Yeah, but that's a great episode, and it nearly made the list.
I could have picked 100 from Out of Always Sunny.
Yeah, I nearly delved into Red Dwarf, but I think with Red Dwarf,
I would pick Queeg 5000 for my favorite Red Dwarf.
I think with the Red Dwarf ones, it's the imperfection that makes it perfect.
Yeah.
So it'll be hard to find like a perfect because there's mistakes, there's stuff.
It's rough around the edges, yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And if I was going to go for and there was one I was thinking about because it was a show I loved, was Bottom. Like I thought there could have been potentially a perfect.
Oh,
but again,
Bottoms Out, the camping episode, I would put up there.
I have seen that
when
one.
the gas man or something like that, because there's just so many good things. But again, it's almost like how bad or how wrong it should be that almost things. And again, I already mentioned the greatest ending was like Blackadder, like when they go over the wall. But that's
forth,
that's a moment.
Blackadder goes forth. That nearly made it onto my list.
I could have picked so many episodes from Blackadder, and it wouldn't have been that one. One of my favorite ones is from the Prince George era, which was the Dictionary.
Yeah. I was about to say, is it the Dictionary?
The Dictionary. It's one of the funniest episodes. And one's from
Aardvark.
Yeah, just when he's adding the fake words. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I could have picked a lot, but I could. Always Sunny either would have been Charlie McDennis, or the Making a Murderer.
Or Who Pooped the Bed.
The musical episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dayman.
Nightman cover.
I thought you meant the actual musical episode where they do the whole I don't know how I would talk about that one without getting into trouble. Not the Dayman one. Dayman one's brilliant, but it's the one where they do a full musical episode.
Oh yeah, the second time.
Yeah.
And also the episode where they go and live in suburbia is pretty up there as well.
That's great.
That's my favourite.
Mac's famous mac and cheese.
Yeah.
What's so famous about it?
And when he's driving with the cereal and all that.
Yeah. It's when Dennis snaps at the end.
Yeah.
When Dennis does the whole, when he's like, "Can you not hear that?" And he's like, "I've been hearing it the whole goddamn time."
I tell you what, almost did make me list as well. Buffy, because you talked about music, that was Buffy's Once More with Feeling.
Oh yeah, there's a few Buffy ones that are up there, like.
But yeah, there was so many different ones that we could have talked to. But again, I think it's just the ones
that been here forever.
Yeah, that I think if we'd done a top 5, a top 10, it could have been crazy.
Long.
Yes.
But thank you for suggesting this though, Paul, because it made me go back and rewatch some stuff, like the best stuff, which I don't think a lot of us always find the time for because we just watch like new stuff. But it's nice to go back and just cherry pick like the best moments.
I want to go and watch Twin Peaks again.
Yeah, I just want to watch it.
I'm taking away.
I'm gonna
do a watch along in the Discord and just see people getting more and more confused and
annoyed.
Like, what's going on.
I think like one day I'm gonna buy a really nice box set of that. I'm gonna treat myself to that one day.
I am gonna watch it. I've been saying it for ages because I know how much Jake absolutely loves it. And I can't remember what Anne said now, so I can go in with it.
And if you like 90s sort of not sitcoms but 90s television style, like you'll get some of that as well.
I just want to get to know David Lynch a little bit better.
Oh yeah, he's super interesting.
So Sammy, what's happening tomorrow?
Well, speaking of getting to know people better, tomorrow's episode of Monsters Up North podcast, I have been this year trying to get better with body horror. It's been my little thing. I'm getting a little bit better with it. And some of the movies I've watched this year is not something I would normally go out my way to watch. So we thought we would break me in with somebody from body horror that has some of the most grotesque movies, but we brought it down to a tamer level. We are doing David Cronenberg's Scanners.
Very cool. So it's going to be trippy as fuck.
Great film.
It's going to be I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably the shortest episode we've ever done, and because there's not a great deal that you can talk, but we do get to talk. I do get to talk about Cronenberg and what I've learned about him, and that I'm still sitting on the fence if we will ever do The Fly, because that is a whole different league of body horror that I don't know if I'm ready for.
Fly.
Yeah. Jeff Goldblum being all sexy then
It's
disgusting.
Jake will understand because he knows my fear of ants and bugs and whatnot. So
Yes.
yeah, it's
maybe it's not for you.
I feel a bit wincy talking about it right now. So yes,
Scanners
is out tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And the audio for this episode and Monsters Up North podcast will be available tomorrow for your listening pleasure.
And what came out today, Sammy?
Oh yes, today on at 12 o'clock today. Sorry, I was completely blindsided by that. We did do a review of a movie that has just hit Fright Fest. It premiered last night.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, it premiered last night. Called Pig Hill. It's interesting. I'm not gonna lie. There's so much potential in this movie. Please go and watch our review, and then please go and get behind the film and give it some support, because it is a genre of horror that is quite new to me. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it.
Pig horror.
Swine.
Pig Hill's fun to say.
Well, we did get told today. Well, not me. Dan has coined a new subgenre in horror. She's called dirty horror, because that's what it's very much like.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
so
coined by the writer of the movie as well. So
the writer of the movie said you've coined a new subgenre of horror, which is now dirty horror.
Yeah.
It's filthy, and honestly, it's very uncomfortable. It's very I'm not going to lie, there's some horrific kills in it, some that might be a little bit triggering for people. So if you're of that nature, please be wary. But yeah, that review is available to view now. Go and watch it, please. Support the film, support the video, like, share, subscribe.
Yeah, and the writer and director have seen Sammy's review and seem to like it as well. So well done. But yes, so that's out tomorrow. Well, that's out now. Tomorrow as well, there will be 2 other reviews hitting at some point. There'll be my little short for 213 Bones that'll be hitting Instagram and YouTube Shorts. So it's not like a lengthy review. It is literally within two minutes, but it's a very 90s based horror, and there's a little Easter egg for any of the Nerdy Up North fans I've put in there for you as well. There will be a review hitting at some point tomorrow as well, probably later in the afternoon, by Chris for a movie called Nauseams, which I am
so intrigued by this one. I want to see how he did it.
So which is about
I couldn't understand anything he was like typing about that today.
It's the fact that it sounds crazy, and how I don't know how he's going to get around some of it. So I'm really intrigued to see how this one goes.
Yes. So Tuesday's episode of Top Grumps has come at us. I can't remember what they're doing. The Dirt.
I'm really excited for this one. The Dirt. Motley Crue.
I've heard Lee is going to be playing the drums with his penis, so that's something to watch.
I'm watching it now.
If he doesn't, I'm going to have complaints.
I don't want to see that. And Phoebe's like, I demand to see that.
So yes,
go.
So that'll be out on Tuesday. Wednesday we have a little treat for you as well. I know we've teased it. We have an interview with I gotta kind of say it now.
I need to remember his name now.
With Linus O'Brien, son of Richard O'Brien. He's made a documentary about Rocky Horror. So yeah, we've now been able to watch the documentary. We didn't watch it before the interview, but we basically asked him what me and Sammy thought were important questions to us. We asked a few questions from the people from the Discord. We did mention a few people from the Discord, and I have to say he was one of the most engaging, nice, friendly, and open people I've spoken to. Who, let's be honest, he had no right to be. He didn't have to be, and that was the amazing thing about it.
He was so kind, so generous, so the stories that he tells within the interview is absolutely fantastic. There's moments where I genuinely thought I could cry just by listening to him talk, and the passion that he has behind not just this project, but the passion he has behind Rocky Horror as a whole. So I really think Rocky Horror. I just think anyone, if you're a fan of fandom, you are going to absolutely love this interview. So please check it out on Wednesday. Did you say what time it was going up?
It's going up at 8 o'clock at night, so I thought I'd do a late one for people.
If you hit the notification bell, though, you'll be notified when all the episodes go out. Oh, got it in there.
What's happening on Friday, Phoebe?
We are doing sometimes life throws you a curveball. So on Anime Club, we're doing a curveball this week. We're doing my top 3 comfort anime. So basically, I'm going to make Chris watch. Well, I don't know if he's going to watch all of them, but I'm going to certainly make him at least like aware of 3 anime that I think he probably wouldn't watch otherwise. Mushishi is one of them that we've talked about today, but also Princess Jellyfish, and then a third yet to be decided anime. So it's the anime that you go to when you're having a tough time. That's what we'll be doing on Friday.
Cool. And what are you doing on Saturday, Jake?
We have finally made it to Captain Marvel, the Captain Marvel portion of the Countdown to Doomsday. We're so close to Endgame, I can taste it.
Be prepared to listen to me fan out over a fictional character for an hour and a bit.
Yeah, but first we have to go back in time to the 90s and actually
I was talking about.
Get to Endgame. We're always talking about the 90s.
That's what I was talking about. I'm gonna you're all gonna be bored to death with my Captain Marvel knowledge and how much I love her, and I'm gonna be wearing my jumper and everything. It's just gonna be a whole thing. I'm gonna I'm going for it. I can't wait. It's either that or
I can't wait to see you rock up in a blonde wig.
Do you want to see me with blonde hair?
Yes.
I will send you a photo. It does not look like me at all.
And then
reveal your Lannisters to me.
Yes.
Oh, I had my Lannister pride going on there. My Lannister pride.
So that'll be going out at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. Then Sunday, we've kind of going crazy. We're going to have as many nerds as we can fit on the podcast, because we're going to actually review and give our thoughts on Rocky Horror Picture Show, with it being the 50th anniversary. We might have another interview around about time, but I don't know when that'll go out or what'll happen there.
And we'll keep that one on the hush.
Yes.
I thought you'd already said it.
I did at the start, so you have
I'm
to
trying
watch.
to make them stop. Let's keep something secret.
Watch the start to get the teaser. But yes, so a lot coming forward, a lot more to come. We're going to try and do a lot more like short videos, a little bit more teasers, like talking about things, because we have a lot of fun, and you nerds seem to enjoy it as well. And I've heard rumors that next Sunday Chris is going to be getting dressed up for Rocky Horror, because Chris is going to be on the episode. He did say, can he get dressed up? I said yes. So I'm putting this out there now.
Get dressed up. It's a party.
He loves to Amazon things. Him and Lee love to Amazon things during the week for a quickie.
If you're coming on, it's a celebration. So get yourself dressed up. I will not, because the idea of that just makes me ill. But yeah, dress up. Let's have a party. Let's have a celebration.
We'll do a live time warp. As Lee kept on telling us I was saying it wrong, it's just a jump to the left. But yeah. So, same bat time, same bat channel.
Stay nerdy, everyone. Bye.
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 Bye.